Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Boss of the Wall, Brian Roberts. Quick wit, slow feet, Ryan Robertson. Jake, Coach Rude. And JT, the commission.
He's got a MySpace page, y'all. Look it up.
Stop.
Restart it.
Stop.
Restart it.
We got 9 subscribers. We'll be fine. But stop.
That's how it starts.
That's how we blow up. Right here.
I see it's the long game
He's
we've been playing.
sitting on that one since it was brought up in there.
He's been sitting on this.
Will
you stop?
You still to continue. You can restart again, but now there's a good chance he'll run right back through it. We can just groundhog day.
That's why I typically don't redo stuff.
Oh,
that's why I typically don't redo stuff. Because what's going to change? Nothing. It might get worse. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
oh, entropy, huh?
And that's wisdom from Josh Trump.
That's not wisdom.
That's
The commission. Back to you, Bob.
Also known by his last name.
Will you stop?
Which
All
was
right.
Josh
We
Trump.
might not be able to do this. We just might not be able to do it.
I'm-
And what are our 9 listeners going to do without us?
Well, I don't know what the other 5 are going to do.
All right, good point. Good point. All right, so hey,
4. My mother listens.
She's cool with it.
She doesn't have a MySpace. You're fine. You're fine.
All right.
There's only 3 others you got to worry about.
And George's a ginger. No one trusts him.
Yeah.
Well,
There is one.
And your brother's the other.
yeah.
Look.
Oh, look, it's Marcel.
We're good.
Say whatever you want.
Well, your mother's listening.
And say what you need to say. She's heard.
But from all of us. Except this one.
Not for me. I always blame it on Andrew.
The ring? Oh.
I always blame it on Andrew. Like, Andrew, stop cussing.
Or the goose.
It's Andrew.
Andrew's new nickname is Goose.
No.
No, I was doing blaming on the goose.
Too nice of a nickname for him.
Yeah.
Got me feeling loose. Blaming on Trump.
Yeah.
Got me in the zone.
Okay.
Blaming on that.
What we got going on tonight, JT?
So we got a little Week 10 recap. Week 10 was what's the opposite of really good? Really bad.
Democrat.
Got him. All right, what's the opposite of wild?
Symbol's awfully high.
What's the opposite of wild?
Wild?
Tame.
Tame.
Okay.
Playing the drums.
Caged?
We had a very caged, tame Week 10.
Cage elephant. Name the song.
That's tight.
Cage Against the Machine.
Cage the elephant. Ain't no rest of the wicked. That's the one you're.
Money don't grow on trees.
Got bills to pay.
Mouth speed.
Ain't nothing in this world for free.
Well, no, we'll go.
Ah, yeah.
Good job.
So with Week 10, we had half the league not score triple digits.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was a tame Week 10.
I score triple digits if you keep leading 0.
Yeah, well, that's all of us.
I'm just
Actually,
saying.
some of us would have been in the thousands,
There you
the
go.
quadruple digits.
I think I might have put up the lowest points.
A million even.
I don't think, no, we can check that. I don't think you did.
I think I flirted with it.
You flirted with it.
Flirted with what?
I had 69.
Man.
It was a great number to stop on. If
Nice.
I'd rather have 69 than 70. Because I was going to lose either way.
All right, so
70.
let's jump into these this matchup review real quick. So let's take a look at that first.
First matchup. You go ahead and talk about that first matchup. We go sit here. We'll talk about with you.
Let's talk about the battle of the December 9th birthdays.
That's a good one.
Autobahn Tom, Josh Broach against Baba Booey, Andrew Ransdale.
Got him.
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
So this projection was supposed to be actually get that notebook because I want to see where.
Now you just said
I wanna
that
see
and
what-
said we wasn't going
I
to
know, I did.
Now you're going out there going to need a notebook.
But I need it for our picks. I've got this tallied up at school. I meant to bring it, and I did. My bad.
No, it's okay. Ain't nobody mad at you, big guy.
Ain't nothing but thing, man.
You good?
Y'all gonna do that the whole time?
I don't know what he talking about. I'm sitting over here having a conversation with you.
Brian had a bee thing on his thumb.
All right.
So you
So
stop at listening to the podcast, you go understand why I start talking like this.
with
Carry
this
on.
with this Baba Booey Autobahn Time matchup, we split on it. We split on it.
I know what side I went.
Which one?
You
we
went.
I went to fighting Keenan Allen's and I lost.
You went fighting Keenan Allen's. Brian, you went fighting Keenan Allen's. whether you knew it or not.
Did I?
You did.
You
By 7.5.
Oh, I
Because remember last week, you called out
Oh, yeah.
point
I was
spread.
feeling good last week.
Me and Jake went with Broach.
I'm
Hey,
with
good
Bill.
pick. Good
Within
pick.
the thumb.
I was in the thumb.
Good pick. So this original projection was 117 to 123 in favor of Autobahn time, Josh Broach. Josh Jacobs showed up to play last week.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yep. Josh Jacobs
I
looked
think
really
if they
good.
hadn't had such a big lead, he could have had even bigger points.
And you know who didn't look good?
Who?
The entire Denver roster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
really
gets
looked
getting
good.
real sad over there with Denver.
suck. They beat the
Um,
Chargers.
Patrick Lindsay. You remember we talked about Patrick Lindsay all week last week?
Yep.
Tim Patrick had it.
Excuse me. Philip Lindsay had 0.2.
How many does Patrick have?
Tim Patrick?
Somehow less than that.
Tim Patrick Lindsay. We got there, boys. It's a
We did it.
whole
It took-
matchup.
It took 11 weeks, but we finally did.
We got there, and it was basically you put them together, and they put like 8
Patrick
points.
Lindsay only scored 0.2 less than Philip Lindsay.
That
only
ain't a whole
0.2
lot.
less than Josh Jordon.
Yeah. I might as well have been on the field. I could have got 2 rush yards. I might have got hurt. I think I could
Kill
get
the
2
guy.
rush yards.
I feel pretty
7
confident,
points.
big guy.
Think you can get 2 rush yards?
This guy here, they
I
keep me
don't
coming
know.
a mile away.
I think if you throw me a swing pass, I could catch it, at least get half a point.
You got
I mean, I might die after it, but I mean, I'll catch it.
I like
you
Brian
got
on the
4 feet.
quarterback sneak because he's just got to lunge forward.
I just get touchdown. That's 3 cross. What's going on?
Aaron Rodgers had another good game against Jacksonville, 26.4, 325 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rush touchdown.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
All I'm saying is on his rushing touchdown, Aaron Jones was wide open, and he let him off the hook. And then he walked into the end zone. So I understand
You
why
want
he
to
did.
crown him?
So Josh Jacobs and Aaron Rodgers were Broach's 2 top scorers. Broach's receivers, as volatile as they can be, or not even volatile, but just as dangerous as they are, neither one of them lived up to their projection, those top 2 of Devontae Adams and Tyler Lockett. Looking at Ransditty's team, it's had a bad week.
Yep.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. He had
At least
3 players reach his projection.
Chubb looked good.
Yeah, Chubb looked really good. Chubb could have had more points if he'd have scored that touchdown.
Yeah, ran out the 3-yard line. and
He did the anti-Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
He
he would have had
was
24.
pissed.
Yeah, but I mean that
Andrew
wasn't a change.
was pissed.
That wasn't a
Well, what
change.
if we were in one of those leagues where it's like 40 and 50-yard touchdown runs get a bonus?
He didn't make the right start of receivers.
Let's see. Let's look at his receivers.
He had Jefferson on the bench with 17.5 while he started
Fulgham.
Fulgham with 1.3.
Fulgham's looked good, but Fulgham was not even
Fulgham bad last week.
Fulgham bad.
He literally
Fulgham
had,
good most days.
he
Yeah,
literally
last week,
had no
Fulgham
other
bad.
quarterback to start.
No. I mean, he
What's the deal with Mixon this week? Is he out
He's
again?
Mixon's
out
out
again.
again.
Golly.
They don't. I don't. They do not know if Mixon's going to play the rest of the year. He's been out since October 21st. This is
What's
November 20th.
What's the
Yeah.
point? They're not.
But I don't like if they put him like on baseball, you can put him on the IR
Retroactively?
retroactively. Can you do that in the NFL?
No.
Like if they put him on the IR now to get that roster spot,
Yes.
he's out minimum 3 from that
Yes,
point.
they can. Yeah, it doesn't work retroactively, and
I didn't mean right now.
that's fine.
Who we got?
I don't have the other one. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell y'all,
Hey, you're getting a peek behind the curtain here, boys.
when we're going to talk about your
Most of the time, this
matchup.
is pre-production meetings, but
And
we're
then I'm
doing
going
it
to say,
on
hey,
call.
I'm going to call y'all, one of y'all 5 minutes, and I'll get the other one.
And you're hearing this live.
All right, Bubba.
That was Jordan.
All right.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Now, Jordan,
He's excited to be on the show tonight.
He is.
guys.
He is.
is good. That's
He's,
great.
he's actually,
We're going to get another Oh, he's already subscribed.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
already
okay.
subscribed.
He actually
But that's
listened
fine.
to it.
We're
But he's got
gonna-
a wife
yeah,
and 2 kids. Create their YouTube accounts.
You
We'll
know,
get 3.
And he had a milestone.
Now, hold on a second. In our intro, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, they've got ages.
That is true.
They can do it.
That is true.
We want
The
to. This
youngest
is open
target
for
audience.
everybody. This is open for
It
everybody.
shouldn't be.
The youngest one has red hair.
It shouldn't be. You get me
So
on a
is he.
certain night, it shouldn't
Trust
be.
him.
No,
Right.
I'm gonna trust him, but-
You know what he does. If we actually, no, Jake's actually pretty calm about it.
He'll poke around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But let's talk about the podcast.
Now, what I
You're
got,
still watching it twice, right? Watch it twice.
It's kind of
I got pointed at and said something about him. What did I miss?
If we live stream this with him, it's shut down.
Nah.
Why?
With the things he does, I jumped on board. It's fun.
Lieutenant Weinberg.
It's funny. All right, get back to the matchup.
Get back to the
We
matchup.
definitely have some
Matchup.
All right.
Matchup.
All right, Rand City only had 3 players reach their projection, but on the opposite end, Broach only had 3 reach their projection. Just Broach was a little bit more top heavy with Rogers and Jacobs.
Yeah.
That's essentially what this matchup came down to.
You got 12-point difference in quarterback,
12-point difference in quarterback.
and you got a 27-point difference at running back in that first slot.
But he
he
picked
makes
up
up for it
6.
with
He
Truck.
picked up.
If you did the whole breakdown of the running back, it would have been 31 compared to 19. So you
Yeah,
picked up
I mean, we don't really have to go in.
And then your
matchup reviews this week. Last week was ugly.
The other big
our
difference
ball.
would be
We're not good at
defense.
Yeah, 13 to 4.
It was a 9-point swing there.
And Rand City could have started Pittsburgh's defense, who played much better against Cincinnati than Baltimore did against New England.
He's 2 starts away from winning the matchup.
Yeah.
Because if he started Jefferson over
Fulgham.
yeah, and that's a 16-point swing. That alone got him to 100. And then
If you go
12-point
Slayton,
swing with Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah,
man wins the matchup.
Yeah. So, close
and
matchup.
boom goes dynamite.
Bada bing, bada boom. Real guys in the room.
Can we do it at the same time, or are we just going to keep switching?
No, one of us has to have a hat forward, one of us has to have backwards. Every time you flip yours, I flip mine.
So this matchup could have went different based on start sits, but Broach now holds. He's holding first place, and Rand drops to 6th place at 5-5.
Oh, wrong. Wrong.
All right, let's go back to our matchups. So let's see who we got next.
Who we got?
Let's take back to week 10. All right, let's look at
Just go ahead and knock mine out of the way.
that your matchup of the week.
Yes.
Hey, you can look at mine and write Myers. It was ugly.
All right,
Same guy
We'll
a
look at
lot
you
of
and
us have
Ryan.
been talking about fearing.
Right, Myers. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
No, this was matchup of the week. Yeah, because y'all were within like 0.3 of each
Well, dang
other.
Do
on.
right?
y'all even listen to the pod?
Yeah. And I got it wrote down.
we got
right
the
here.
notebook out for some
I'm
Oh,
reason.
convinced.
That's why I got the notebook. That's why I got
Oh, look, you got your Disney letter again. Back to you, Bob.
Huh?
The Disney letter.
It's okay.
It's
Oh, yeah.
just a heads up. It's going to be a really crappy one this week.
All right, let's go to Jake and Jordan.
Okay.
So let's pull this up. Check
You
it
thought
out.
Looking at Andrew's team was rough.
All right.
Y'all just wait.
So last week we went Jordan, Jake.
I like the confidence in me, big fella.
Who went Jake?
That
Yeah,
guy.
big
Atta boy.
So the original projection was 107 to 109 in favor of Jordan. It was
It was worse than that because I had a Thursday night game.
Say it. I was gonna say it was higher.
It was what?
Higher. Yeah, Jake, we talked about this.
Can you take me higher?
Can you? Are we gonna go Creed?
No, we've done so many songs.
Can you take
God.
All right, let's go.
All right, so Jay hit some rough selling with AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor putting up a combined 7 point.
Nope.
No,
7.3.
well that's what I was getting at.
He just wanted to say it for you.
Okay.
I thought you said 7 points. My bad.
No, I was 7 point, and I was doing math.
Do math.
Juju looked good for you, Jake. 77 yards, touchdown, 9 catches. Pretty good week. That was your highest score. Russell Wilson had a rough game against.
Russell Wilson sucked.
Actually, he's falling off, man.
See, he looked good last night.
He looked good last night, but he
Hey,
has kind of came
falling
back
off.
down to earth a little bit from his
Have you
ridiculous
realized it's
looking pace.
coincided as soon as Chris Carson went down?
It's bad that my third highest score, which almost beat Russell Wilson, was the New York Giants defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I want to point out, just
Point
to laugh at my pain a
Is
little
this
bit.
an S&G kind of
Well, I picked up Balaj earlier in the week, thinking he had a good game. And
Yeah, Balaj did.
And they put him back on the practice squad, and I did not realize that you could
Back
easily
and
move
forth.
them up and down this year. So they
Yep.
were like, oh, yeah, Pope's back. He's going to get the carry. So I went and picked Pope up, who had 0 points. Meanwhile,
You open yet?
Balaj went 13, 14, 15. I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference. I wouldn't have won anyways. But
Yeah.
I felt like such an idiot, and I picked up
Hopefully, special teams, though. He got a couple tackles.
and then I picked up DJ Dallas because all the other running backs were out, and then he doesn't even get the ball.
Double D.
He most of his points came in like a 2-minute offense where he got a couple of pass catches.
Seattle just looked terrible in that game altogether.
It was a rough week.
Seattle just looked terrible in that game.
And for Jordan, he had 3 scores of over 20 points. Lamar Jackson, 22. Stephon Diggs and Antonio Gibson both had 20.
And some of that was late work too. Like Diggs got that late.
Stephon Diggs thought he had a game winner.
Yeah.
He did.
He did not.
He did not. We'll talk about that in a little
And
bit.
even Gronk, I was kind of pissed watching that one because Gronk hadn't done anything the whole game, and they're up by like 15 points, 16 points, something where it was 3 scores.
Man, they caught
And-
that BS.
And they throw a freaking bootleg on like 2nd down for a touchdown. I'm like, what are y'all doing, jackasses?
Yeah, well, you just get
Yeah.
a couple of years. We're coming
Yeah.
from.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going.
I'm gonna blow Tom Brady's knees out.
That was a good game at halftime.
Oh,
Really
What
good
happened
game.
at halftime?
Well, it was tied at
Kurt
halftime.
Menefee was talking
okay.
to
I thought you were
Bradshaw.
talking about like the halftime show.
No, it was really good game up until halftime. Third quarter, Tampa Bay came out
Blowout,
firing,
yeah.
dude. Tampa Bay came out firing. Michael Thomas, this is his second game back. Scored 3.7 this week.
Does
and
he
his
have
value does not go up.
Does he have 20 points on the year? No,
No.
14 and a half.
Yeah.
The two plus games.
Yeah,
Basically three. He
Basically
pretty
three.
much
He
played
played
all
week
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan, to be where he is without essentially his first round pick for pretty much all the season.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan's finding a way. His running backs outside of Antonio Gibson, though. J.K. Dobbins with 1.9, Devin Singletary 1.5.
Not a lot on the bench for me.
Now, do you see that as being a weak point of Jordan's team going forward, the running back position?
Well, I mean, the only person he was missing that will usually be in his lineup is Julio.
Yeah.
And so Julio might have gone into would have gone into
Yeah,
his
it's flex. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah,
his weak point's been running back all year, but it's
it also didn't help that I thought the best running back in the game. I know Gibson got a late touchdown there to kind of boost his numbers, but the best running back on Washington on Sunday was
Jefferson David McKissick. Yeah.
that dude. Godly, he had 15 targets?
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
Especially with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Because Alex Smith ain't going to put the ball down the field.
I know I'm not upset.
Alex, I think he had like 390 passing yards.
309, it was.
And I don't think
led
he-
the league in passing last week.
Yeah, which is
I think he's
weird.
thrown for over 700.
Does
passing.
he get-
OAS?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he get Matthew Barrett's made a big deal about this. Does he get comeback
Comeback player of the year?
comeback
If he
player?
played a
you
snap,
okay?
he should have gotten it. Because they're talking about at the beginning of the year it was going to be Big Ben or Cam.
Yeah.
But as soon as Alex Smith stepped foot on the field, he won comeback player of the year, in my opinion.
Yes. You come back from that with the leg looking the way it does.
Any infection the way he got?
The fact that he almost died from a leg injury.
Well, his thing went down south. Yes.
Well,
yes.
no, like he had
And
infections
I
where
also
they
still wanna
thought he
point
was
out
going to
the
die.
fact, it was like the situation in which he gets put in. The guy in front of you has a gruesome leg injury that
Yep.
you have to now step in and try to lead and not think about, oh my God, what happened. Every time he got tackled when I was watching on Sunday, I cringed a little bit like, oh God, please get up, please get up.
Yeah, the game he came in was against the Rams.
And Aaron
So you gotta go
Donald
against
jumped on
Aaron
his
Donald.
back.
Boogity, boogity,
Yeah,
boogity.
Aaron Donald put all his body weight on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And he comes on the sideline, talks to the other defensive lineman, and said, "At my leg strong."
I know.
He basically put all his weight onto him and laid it on him, and he's Alex Smith.
The other, I guess, position to point out for Jordan, he had 17 from the Rams, which you just brought up,
I mean, they're good.
which was, and 17 from a defense is solid every week. So good job, Jordan. Jordan goes to second place. Jake drops to 5-5 at 7. All right, let's go to our next matchup.
Who's it?
So we'll look at mine, Michael's, then we'll go the Scorp and Brian, and then finally our matchup of the week.
This was a barn burner here, boys.
Dude, Michael, I got to give Michael credit, man.
Give it to him.
Because he could have easily just said,
Oh, when
You
we
know
get to
what?
the playoff picture at the end of this, Michael's going to be talked about.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Because he was 0-6, dude. We thought Michael was out of it.
Before you
He
get,
ain't
let me
out.
ask you this. When we were all sitting here talking about Michael could do this, Michael could this, did we actually take it serious when we were saying it? Was more
He was
just
kid
like,
with heart. We're just encouraging,
Right.
just you're not.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was one of those things where they talk about it like mathematically they're not eliminated yet, but they're just trying to make their fans happy to keep watching our show.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like some of the things he's got going.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Michael was projected to win 116 to 111.
And Big Ben hold up. That's my biggest question for Mike.
I think so.
Big Ben had 3 top 10 wide receivers last week.
Yeah. No, I meant like every time I hear something about Big Ben, it's like another injury.
That's been
True,
like that.
true.
It's,
Like, I know it's his whole career,
Yeah.
but at some point the body is going to just start
for sure.
failing. But yeah, I mean,
He's
him,
Babe Ruth.
Cooper Kupp should have had a bigger week. That was kind of a disappointment. I think Will Fuller will put up bigger stats than what he did.
I think the question mark for him is James Conner was the only player I really felt confident about his team for a long time.
Yeah.
And the more that Big Ben's look good and the receivers have looked good, James Conner's been the exact opposite of that.
Better start McKissick this week.
I think you will. We'll look at his team. I know he hadn't set his lineup, but we'll look at it. Yeah, Big Ben led the way with 29. New Orleans came through with 18. That was Michael's 2 highest scorers. Outside of that, he didn't have a player in double digits, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter because my highest scorer was 15 from Minnesota's freaking defense.
Yeah.
The freaking defense.
You just got screwed at one place.
Yeah.
I got
cost you 23 points.
That one place happened to be New Orleans.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Drew Brees, he should do pretty good against San Fran.
I mean, at
Jared
least
Cook,
15.
if he catches a touchdown,
You
he's
can't
worth his
trust Jared
value.
Cook. That's what
Dude,
I'm talking.
And
Did
I
you sweep
told
your
you.
predictions?
Did I sweep predictions?
I think I
no,
picked Michael, didn't I?
I did not.
I picked Mike. Didn't
I missed in one spot, and we'll come back to that. Let's see.
I'm talking about for this matchup.
For this matchup, we didn't sweep. No,
No,
you
you
picked me.
And you did.
I was the only one to pick you.
Yeah.
You
you
picked
did
me
that
by
for me.
12, and I lost by 12.
Sorry.
Sorry.
This is my biggest loss of the year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You play good defense, though.
Play good defense. The first time me and Michael played, that was when Saquon got hurt, and I should not have won that. But Saquon got hurt. James Conner got hurt on Monday Night Football, and so I squeaked one out against him. This is just
So that's just fantasy carnival.
this is poetic justice.
Yeah.
I should have.
I think you
this.
even used that on the first part. It don't matter how you win, as long as you win.
Yeah, and
And
Michael did the same thing to
yeah,
me.
And then I did a Vin
Yeah.
Diesel quote.
Yep.
So then,
Now you got to go find a quarterback.
yeah, I don't know who you're going to start this week.
You should probably.
Stay tuned.
I was always worried about this week, and yeah, it came back to bite me. My high score was Kareem Hunt, who's not even starting running back in Cleveland.
But I think Ryan's brought this up in the past. I think he's actually more effective, like not having to be the bell cow, where he gets to come in fresh and do more pass catching and like spell.
Yeah, Nick Chubb softens up that defense.
Yeah, he does.
and then
less is more. And then they're like, oh, they're bringing Kareem Hunt in. It's probably it's got to be a pass because if you're going to run the ball, you would keep Nick Chubb in. Then Kareem Hunt just breaks off like a 20-yard
That
run.
is big.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone
very
plays
effective.
him to be. It's a passing situation.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both ran for over 100 yards.
Yeah.
So,
It's just goal line's gonna get full Chubb now. Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
They get really excited when they're in the red zone.
they do.
They just got to punch it in.
Not too much else to say about this matchup. Michael, good job. You won.
Proud of you.
You want a close matchup? Good job. Michael goes to 4-6 in 8th, and I dropped to
Holding
3-7
the playoff
at
spot.
9. He is.
Look at
He
there.
is. Good job, Michael. No doubt. All right, let's take a look at
Funny.
score versus victim of the system. This was a fun matchup. This was the only matchup in which both teams scored triple digits.
Which is crazy.
Tame week.
He beats everybody in the league but me right now.
Yeah. But that's how fantasy football works.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
comes down to who you play. Scorp was projected to win this 130 to 111.
He was supposed to beat the crap out of you there, old Roberts.
He was.
And Brian, you squeaked it out. You squeaked it out.
Well, I mean, 11 points, a squeak.
I called a squeak, especially with that Hail Mary.
When there was like a
Cowboys.
20-point play.
It did come down to one play.
Hey,
I know. A win's a win.
Win,
No matter how you get.
I don't see why they don't use that strategy at other points of the game. Because usually he's not triple covered, he's single covered.
No, no.
Just throw it to him.
You know what they say, like, work smart, not hard? If we can just score on one play,
Why should we? It's
if
like,
we can throw from the
Happy
50,
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
if we can throw from the 50 every time and score a touchdown, why are we not calling that
I
play more
promise y'all,
often?
all I could think about was the movie The Replacements when he caught that. Cliff Franklin on that one going up with it.
It's like a one-man cold for Cliff Franklin.
And then he started saying, "Yeah, I knew I was going to catch it." I was like, "Man, that is Cliff." If he starts doing like big eyes at the camera, like Cliff Franklin, I'm gonna lose.
You know what the problem is?
What the problem is?
They had a press conference with Deshaun Watson after that Cleveland-Houston game. They asked him about it. Like, he's got to feel terrible. He's got to feel terrible. He's like, man, that's just hot being hot. He's legendary doing legendary things. Like, he wants to. I hate this reporter for asking me this question.
He's the youngest receiver to
700 catches.
700 catches. He passed Larry Fitzgerald. Look at that.
How about that?
Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, man, that came through big at the end for you, Brian. Wayne Gallman was also a great start. That was a great pickup, great start.
If it wasn't for Wayne Gallman, I'd have Calvin Ridley on my team. Stupid Wayne Gallman, you big jerk.
That is true.
Yeah, that's a very good pickup.
I mean,
you said that you tracked the whole Devontae Freeman injury, and Wayne Gallman came through with 2 touchdowns. Yep.
Like he's not getting a ton of yards, but I think he scored a touchdown every week he started.
Yeah, I believe that's
2 last week.
Yeah, 2 last week.
Man.
And then, dude, honestly, like your team looked pretty good outside of that Carolina-Tampa game, right?
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore was kind of the guy this past week for Carolina, which was.
I mean, Godwin was respectable. It was just the Carolina side of it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, just the Carolina side of it because Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel didn't really have too much of a role.
Just poor sport, man.
I know.
I know. He picked the 12-year-old boy as a starting quarterback over the legend.
He was a 20-year-old man when he started the game. He is now a 14-year-old boy. He cut his hair, and he looks like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, he
does.
And
then starts either him or Jones who wins the game.
Well, that's the other thing. And I mean, clearly I don't know what I'm doing as a fantasy owner because I'm horrible at it. But, Ronald Jones going against Carolina's run defense has not been good.
With John Brown, who's been hurt every other game.
And I don't know if is John Brown gotten in the end zone lately? I could be right. I don't know.
John Brown,
he had a decent game.
Had a good game.
One game since he's been back.
2.3, 12.4, 10.
You hadn't scored since week 2.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to call him question. Scorch put up a lot more points than me and has a better team than me.
I mean, he's beating himself up about that start for sure.
Jones in there.
This is the problem with having a lot of good players.
Depth is a problem.
Depth is not a good thing at this late in the season.
You have to set your roles and live by it no matter what until enough changes.
That's where you piece something together to try to.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's what you try to do with the deadline. You're you want to have depth, but you got to package stuff together to get it.
There's only one position that he needed, in my opinion.
What was that?
It doesn't matter. Just one different player.
I seriously think he should have tried to trade JT, one of his running backs, and one of his top receivers for
Waller.
Well, I would have gone for Kelsey. I would have gone big and offered.
Would you have done that?
I don't. In my opinion, it's a very high price tag.
If he had came in with like a Miles Sanders and maybe like
when I still had Boston Scott, maybe.
Like I would have considered it for like in the situation your team was in at that time, needing kind of a running back receiver combo there. Yeah. My
issue, because Rams Diddy asked me about trading for Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Kelsey is his value is already very high, but his value has a little bit more on my team than it does any other team because I also have Mahomes.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that price tag.
My biggest thing when I go into a trade is like if I'm trading a bench player and a starter, the starter gets a lot of points, and I'm getting 2 replacement starters. What is their equal per week? Like, is it going to beat what that one person gave you? So, like, if you traded Mahomes, you're giving up 30 points a game. Your new person might get you 15. So you're losing 15 points. Are you upgrading at the receiver running back position enough to where it's making that up? And so I guess that's what I would get at with you. Like, the tight end that you lose would have been a big loss. But if you could have there's no one else that could come close to it. You would have lost.
Because even Waller hadn't looked very good.
Kelsey's the most untradeable player in fantasy football, in my opinion, this year.
You would have had to get
you could offer me Kyler Murray and Aaron Jones for Travis Kelce, and I think I might turn it down.
I would have done that.
I mean, I know you legitimately would.
I would.
Damn.
That was an over-exaggeration.
Yeah,
the way I'm breaking it down is having Travis Kelce is basically like you've got an extra roster spot. Because he's outscoring other tight ends by so much, it's like you're starting an extra player.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
Every single week.
I don't know if you could have traded Metcalf, but I mean, like a Miles Sanders and Robinson for.
I'd never trade you, Big
Kelsey.
Thank you, buddy.
That would have been something. He would never trade Miles Sanders.
No, because of personal.
And the bad thing is,
from a fantasy perspective,
Kamara for Kelsey, I would have done.
I think Hawkinson's been the third best tight end, but it's just the the divide between the third best tight end and Travis Kelce this year has been outrageous.
Yeah, it has. It has. Scorp had a good week. He did. He had a good week. No. Yeah, sure. I'll take another. If you're drinking another one. If it's up to you. I mean, I don't care. I'll give you.
I'll go in there.
Okay. Kamara looked good. Led his team to 31. Had 3 touchdowns. Kamara kind of got back to his.
But he didn't have a ton of yards, did he? I think he just
did.
scored a touchdown like every touch, basically.
He had 83. He had 83 receiving yards. He had 15 rush yards.
Yeah, 15 rush yards, two
he
rushing
averaged,
touchdowns.
Yeah, he averaged less than 2 yards a carry on the ground.
Yep.
Do you see his value changing with Jameis or
Well,
Taysom Hill, whoever?
I think it's going to be a loaded box this week if they keep.
If it's Taysom Hill, it's going to be everything within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, which is similar to what Drew Brees has been doing, but some of those passes are going to be accurate, whereas Taysom Hill, I don't know. Jameis is going to throw it down the field a ton, but they might do a more conservative game plan. So I think Kamara might get more work on the ground than he has been.
It's just where New Orleans has to put their money where their mouth is because they blew up Taysom Hill last offseason.
Right.
What are you going to do if Brees leaves? Taysom's our guy.
Yeah.
We've said it from the beginning.
They did say that.
People wanted to trade for Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it.
They signed him to a big contract.
They did. So now Taysom Hill, you go out there and you can't just do some dink and dunk passes all over the field. You've got to let him go. You've got to show what he got. You got to show that you trust him. You can't just talk about it.
I'm excited to see him play this week. I really am. If they give him the reins.
I don't give a shit about it.
Peyton said he hadn't decided, and then people were like, "Oh, it's going to be Winston," and then Schefter comes out and says it's going to be Taysom Hill, and I think Peyton's come back after that and said he hasn't decided again. So
we got who we going to trust, Peyton or Schefter?
Neither.
Okay, fair enough. And
I hate
Jameis
Adam Schefter because he gives McCaffrey news all this. It's never good.
It's never good.
It's never good McCaffrey news.
So victim of the system, Ryan Roberts to 5-5 in 5th place, and Scorp drops to 2-8 in 10. Not what we saw coming. All right, so our matchup of the week for Week 10 was
A dud.
a dud. Fantasy Phenoms versus bye week.
I'm telling you, man, I really, other than like if Brian's fully healthy, I don't know if there's a team I would like not want to face more than right now.
I don't know, man. You seeing that Los Angeles Rams stack I had right there? That's pretty lethal.
The thing about Reitmeyer's team is like Dalvin didn't even go off this week.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I was going to win, I need Dalvin. I need the Bears defense to have a really good defense.
I said the Bears had a good week the week before because that was a big one, I think, in your matchup.
Me and you
against
both,
Henry.
and we both called Aaron Jones outscoring Dalvin. I mean, it didn't happen by like a 1.5 pretty much, but Dalvin didn't go Dalvin.
So the original projection here was 121.26 for Ryan and 121.51 for Reitmeyer. So 0.25 difference didn't come to fruition.
Didn't matter.
Reitmeyer with 138, Ryan with 91. Josh Allen, after a couple down weeks, has looked good over the past few weeks.
Who does he play this week? Oh, yeah, the bye week.
DeAndre Swift looked really good.
Yes, Swift's kind of taking control of that backfield, even though he's out this week.
He's got himself a concussion now.
Yeah, he does.
Concussion.
And Brandon Ayuk is on the COVID-19 list.
Yeah, did not know that.
Did not either.
Yeah, I saw this one.
Mike Evans looked pretty good. He had a very good touchdown, a very nice touchdown back in the end zone.
Yeah.
DJ Moore looked good.
Cooper looked like he did at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
I know it sounds bad, but I don't know if I'd take Ebron out right now. Pittsburgh's offense is rolling so well, and they got 3 legit receivers, and he's still a freak athlete in the middle of the field. Like, I know he's touchdown dependent, but every tight end right now outside of Kelce is.
Everyone.
I feel like he's actually one of the more consistent ones to get you like close to 5-6 points a week, and then you're saying favorable matchup in the red zone because the other guys attract so much attention.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like him.
I think that Austin Hooper play was a pretty good play considering like the weather was terrible, and maybe they have to throw the ball short.
Yeah, if Carson would have gotten announced out earlier than he did last week, I had told Jake I was going to pick up Hooper, and then Reitmeyer picked him up right before I could. Before his appendectomy, he was starting to look good in that offense, and then ever since he's been back, it's been terrible.
Terrible.
But he got rid of that appendix, so we're good to go.
Dalvin overall, I mean, he ended up with, 112 total yards, just didn't score, which if he'd have scored, that would have been very close to his projection.
I mean, he had a couple dump off passes in the fourth quarter, got him like 20 yards a pop. So it was like
Yeah, he did.
4 and 5 point plays right there in the last drive or two.
Yeah, Reitmar also had some points on the bench too, with Marvin Jones,
Mm-hmm.
19.6, Malcolm Brown with 18.1, scoring 2 touchdowns. Reitmar's team's dangerous right now.
Very
dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Going to the fantasy phenom side of the
You don't have to.
matchup. Deontay Johnson did very well.
Yeah.
He was the only player on your team to exceed their projection.
Yep.
I'd
Way
like
to
for you
go,
to
bud.
have another week like that this week. I love you though.
I appreciate you, bud.
That Jared Goff start I thought was really good.
Dude, that Jared Goff, Robert Woods, I had it in 3 daily fantasy lineups too. And I was like, man, I'm going to win in both things. And they, all of them lost. So how about that? Way to go, Jared Goff.
Yeah. It's just a rough week, Ryan.
Well, I
Just
mean,
a rough week.
it's the Rams. You never know if he's going to throw 61 times like he did that one game, or they're just going to run it 40 or 50
Yeah,
times.
especially when they have 3 running backs they'll give the ball to.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, a lot of my games were affected by weather, but everybody's was last week, so it's like
Whether you like it or not, right?
Oh
Right.
man, dad weather jokes. Those are my favorite.
T. Higgins looked good on your bench though.
Yeah. And I took him out because I was like, hey,
Who did you start over T. Higgins?
DJ Chark, because like I said, if Yair Alexander, the lockdown corner for Green Bay, didn't play, I was going to take out Higgins.
Which Chark had an opportunity for
A deep ball with the
yeah.
wind got it, and
Yep.
he got knocked down. But
He
T.
already knows him.
Higgins was playing Pittsburgh.
Yeah, true.
So that's
yeah.
why I didn't feel bad about making that switch, but I should have went with what I did, so I would have lost by less.
Yeah, hey, the thing is, it doesn't
It wouldn't
matter.
have mattered. Like if that play and that decision would have decided whether it was a win or a loss, I'd be beating myself up about it. But I'm not into self-harm, and it wouldn't have mattered. So we're good to go.
All right.
Awareness.
Awareness. All right. So with the matchup of the week, we went Ryan, Reitmeyer. Ryan and Jake picked Ryan. Me and you picked Reitmeyer.
What were the totals from last week?
Let's see. So I went 4-1. I missed on Scorp and Brian. Jake went 4-1. Missed on Ryan and Reitmeyer.
Ryan.
Ryan, you went 3-2. Missed on Baba Booey. And yourself.
Yeah.
And Big Rob,
Tough week.
glad you're here, buddy. You missed on
I think you
All
went like
but me.
2 and 3. Or one.
no, you went 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You missed on Jake. You missed on me. You missed on Baba Booey. So you went 2 and 3.
That's good.
All right. So yeah, week 10, man, it was tame. Hopefully, week 11.
Can you say tame?
Tame.
Tame.
Because he was doing the
Can you say that?
he was doing the antonym of wild.
Which we
Crazy even.
Off the
I will announce this since I just got this a little bit earlier and we talked about it.
Just got to do with tank.
No, the notice that Yahoo sent. So Yahoo sent this message. If you can see it on my screen, but I'll say it as well.
No.
We have added a new league setting to enable COVID-19 status, eligible for the IR slot. On players impacted by any future game postponements, you can enable it in your league settings. Apply injury status for postponed games.
You know what? That would have been great.
In like
I'd give him week 5, week 6.
September.
I'd give him week
Yeah.
6. I'd give him week 6 as the latest.
yeah, but they did this in
After
week
the-
11,
After
I know,
the first
I know.
game was canceled. We haven't had a game canceled since what, week 3?
week 4.
Okay. Yeah. This is week 11. We haven't
We'll
had a
throw
game
them off there for a
7
second.
weeks.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I said like week 3. Week 4 is very similar to week 3.
Have y'all? I'm just curious. Have y'all played in a platform you like more than Yahoo?
Ooh, that's for core 5 meeting.
No. Yahoo's always been my favorite, but it's
I told you my thoughts on ESPN.
this year has been a little
You
bit
like
different.
the
ESPN just throws, they want you to pay for so much. Everything's an advertisement for ESPN and the ESPN app.
Speaking of which, dude, Matthew's Berry Love Hate is gone to a paywall now because ESPN's struggling for money.
Yeah, everything on ESPN is behind the face.
And they cut half their staff. Where are they bleeding?
Golly, dude.
I know where they're bleeding at.
Hurt.
Yeah. They're
I
fine.
can't say it right
And
now.
for how desperate people have been for sports,
Yeah, dude, I thought that was jacked up.
If there's certain people listening to this, they're gonna be thinking the same thing.
Back to you, Bob.
All right, y'all ready for week 11?
Yeah, man. Let's break down.
You ready for
brother.
week 11?
Yeah.
All right, first
We'll get to one about
matchup
that.
we'll go with is Baba Booey versus Scorp. This is the battle. I was hoping one of y'all would finish this.
Of
The
Gingers.
Texas. It's
No.
the season of the challenge. I wasn't
they're
listening.
both their name is both Andrew. That's what I was going with. Battle of the Andrews.
I wasn't.
Oh.
I mean,
Indeed, they are. Aren't
in
they?
my defense, I wasn't listening.
That doesn't. That's not.
That's the reason why I didn't answer. That's
Okay.
not a good reason, but
All right,
that's
well, the Battle of the Andrews.
If you had to pick a favorite, which one between the two would you pick?
Andrew.
got
There I
him.
go.
Well done, Pete.
That's
Man,
not
look
like
at this
what
guy.
Dennis Garcia used to do when Randleman played Ragsdale because he said, "I think I'm going to take the RHS Tigers in this one."
Yeah.
God, that's
Tigers
tricky.
on a roll.
That's why he's got the job.
Well, he don't work there anymore.
Thank God.
So
Copperheads. He works for.
Yeah, he
he's a
does.
beat writer for the Copperheads.
yeah, he does.
It's a lateral.
The lateral movement.
Not as strong.
He's more focused on what he knows most.
Is it
What he
baseball?
knows.
Look, he hated Randleman.
I know.
Whoa.
All right, so looking at the Battle of the Andrews, we got Baba Booey, Andrew Ransdale at 114. And Scorp was originally projected at 126. Looking at a live projection.
Randleman? Tommy McDonald.
He still does. He's not dead.
And a live projection for Scorp at
Our very
123.
own commish reminds me a lot.
I know. Y'all are a lot alike.
I don't agree.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, DK Metcalf.
Finally got a touchdown against Arizona.
I don't know what that was.
He took the
He could have had two
snap.
touchdowns, but he dropped one.
It did
Right
him in the face mask.
Hurt
Did
my
you hear Troy Aikman was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if that got deflected or what, but that looked like a pass Metcalf could have caught and show the replay just popped him
But right in the face mask. Yeah, DK Metcalf could have had a bigger game, but ended up with 12.1.
That's a good game.
Yeah, not a bad game. DK, though, for like the first
That tied up.
6 weeks,
But
for the
that
first
tied up.
6-7 weeks, you looked at DK as like,
The
dude,
best receiver in football.
yeah,
This
he's,
Julio Jones but catches touchdowns.
and he's came back down to earth the past few weeks. And
His
in that
longevity
May-
on that. Is he going to be an elite receiver for the majority of his career, or is he just going to be flashy at times?
No, I think he's got Calvin Johnson built.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the physical tools, and he's actually expanded his route tree. Because when he got drafted, it was like he's just run 9 routes. He's just going down the field.
And he's
now
playing with an elite quarterback.
He is.
Yeah.
So I think sky's really the limit for DK. I think next year he
And
gets
they've got
picked
a
in the top 2
legitimate wide
rounds.
receiver.
I tell you what, he ran a fade last night where he came off the line and hit a quick little stutter, froze the DB. And when he
Yep.
hits that next step, it's like full speed again. I said, that for a guy that big, like that's tough to guard.
It's a cheat code, pretty much.
Because his biggest problem when he came out, like I remember seeing a lot of the game film on him at Ole Miss, he was stiff. He didn't come in and out of breaks cleanly.
He was a
He didn't
straight
change the
line
direct-
speed. Yeah.
It, like if he came off the line full go, the corner could bail early because he knew what he was running.
Yep.
If he gets any kind of flexibility and range where he can get in and out of breaks, I mean he's
It's a
a
nightmare.
tough guy. Yeah,
Nightmare matchup.
Top 2 round receiver next year.
I would assume so as long as Russell Wilson's.
We're going to
See,
do a
I might-
draft preview next year.
Yeah.
My thing is
That'd be
with
good.
Metcalf and Lockett, I don't know if I can give either one of them top 2 round because they kind of offset each other a little bit, but I'd say both of them go in the top 4 rounds. I don't know. I think one of them might deter a little bit from the other, but his talent level is
Yeah.
top 2 level for
Agreed.
sure.
You think he'll be a top
I think he's a
5 receiver drafted next year?
I think
Top
so.
5 receiver. I think it'll be close.
Yep.
It'll be close.
I do too.
So, on the other side of the ball, real quick. So, Baba Booey. His projection is 114, but it was higher originally because he had Joe Mixon in, but Joe Mixon he's still in his lineup, but Joe
Yeah.
Mixon has been announced out. So, you got to imagine, well, no, you ain't got to imagine. He's got to put a running
He's
back
got to
in.
put Matt Breida or Devontae Booker in on his current roster.
Does he do that, or does he pick somebody
He's going
up?
to pick somebody up.
Who does he pick up? That's the question.
Well, if they announce Breida's the starter over Ahmed in Miami, or Ahmed, however you pronounce his name, I've heard it both ways. He probably would be the start, but I don't know if there's a starting worthy running back on waivers right
Well,
now.
he dropped Patrick Lindsey and his brother.
Philip?
Yeah.
Do you take
What happened to Peter Lindsay? Did he not make the league? Is he like LeAngelo Ball?
Do you take a chance with carry on?
I mean,
Oh.
you just gotta pray for a touchdown.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually where he's not going to get his points. I think the best chance he has if they get behind and they're throwing the ball
Passing
because he's
game.
more valuable than
that's true.
Peterson in that.
Is Peterson rostered?
I think somebody
Yes,
picked him up this
Reitmeyer
week.
did as soon as Swift got hurt.
Okay.
Because he's got Swift.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I was going to go pick him up to prevent him from picking him up.
He picked him up swiftly.
He did.
So Red City is starting Travis Fulgham again this week. Over
But
Brandon Cooks.
But he's got Jefferson back in.
He does have
which is a
Jefferson
good
back
decision.
in. Would you start Fulgham or Cooks? Who would you go with?
I would start Cooks.
Brian, who would you start? Fulgham or Cooks?
You don't go away from a hot hand.
And up until last week, it was Travis Fulgham.
I don't
But
like
since-
playing at Cleveland. I think it's going to rain and it's been windy there lately. I haven't seen a big passing game come out of there lately. Most of their scores have
No,
been.
it's been ugly weather.
Yeah, I feel like the last
Sure.
3 weeks, Cleveland's scores have all been under 21 points.
Since
That's a
Jalen
good
Rager's
stat.
been back, Fulgham hasn't looked great. Like that first game that
Yeah.
Rager played, he was limited. Fulgham still had a decent game, but the game or two since then, Rager and Jeffrey have been back, and it's kind of spread out the targets. That's what Fulgham was getting, was just a ton of volume,
Yeah.
and he looked good doing it. Now he's not getting that as much, and he's not making the most of the limited opportunities.
Speaking of the Cleveland-Philly game, so Scorp has two players going in that game, one being
Doesn't
Miles
pull
Sanders,
off
the other being Jalen Rager.
Yep.
So they're projecting rain.
Ranstad's got two in that game as well.
Yeah, he's got Chubb. Chubb, I can see freaking eating in that game.
Yeah, he'll play better in those
Yeah, I mean,
conditions.
Chubb could go for 200 yards in that game, legitimately.
Chubb's going to go hard.
Mhm.
Well, that'll be a game to watch for both of them for sure. I think the
Also
tight end
pretty good.
matchup in this particular matchup between the Andrews is going to be good because we have Mark Andrews
Oh, look at that! 3 Andrews.
versus TJ Hawkinson, and honestly, both of them,
Dude,
I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Can you, all of us, like agree Mark Andrews might have been the biggest disappointment? Because at least like Kittle got hurt and was out most of the year. He only played like 3 or
You
4
do as
games.
far as tight ends go.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Mark
Oh,
Andrews, I thought could compete for like being up there with Kelsey and Kittle. Like
A lot
Really?
of people
If he
say-
had, I would probably put him as my third tight end.
Yeah,
in my
most
draft
people
board,
did.
he was my third tight end.
Who's
Most people
that?
did. Mark
Andrews?
Andrews.
A lot of people, I think almost all of us had him as the value of the draft.
Him and
I didn't.
Waller
Yeah.
would probably be
Kind
the
of
ones you would go in
I'm
between.
telling you, when I was going in the draft because of what Lamar did last year and how much he relied on Andrews, I had Andrews a considerable, probably round or two ahead of Waller, just because I didn't trust Carr.
Yep, I had 2 tight ends.
I'm more
on my-
truck.
I had 2 tight ends on my board. You took Kelsey in the second round, and
You
you,
were
took
a
Kittle,
hell
I
of a
think, in the
tight
second
end.
round.
No, third.
You were.
Third, and I just didn't look at tight ends until I think the 14th.
How's that worked out?
It worked out fine when I had John and then I got Dallas Goddard, and I'm like, whatever.
You pick up Jono.
I can pick up John
Go ahead.
Last thing
Hanging
on
on by
this
thread, I can't
matchup
live
that I
with
want to
it.
ask you guys.
I might pick him up.
Actually, 2 things I want to ask you guys.
2.
So, Kamara, Nick Chubb, who would you take in that matchup?
Kamara.
Take Kamara?
Just on the sole fact that they're going to give Kamara the ball a lot.
I think there's 2 positions, and we'll go to the other one in a minute, but I think there's 2 spots that can get really interesting. Kamara and Chubb being one. Ryan, you said you take Chubb in this?
Yeah, I would take Sanders over Mixon, though, for sure.
Yeah, I would too. Jake,
Or,
who, would
or whoever you replace with Mixon with.
who would you take, Kamara or
So I'm
Chubb in
going to
this?
just break down my thought process since I haven't actually figured this out yet. So Kamara is what I think someone pointed out a while ago. He's actually yards-wise hasn't been up there as much as he's been touchdown dependent. Now he's
Right.
going against a bad Atlanta team, but I question what that offense is going to look like with Hill under center. Is Hill going to steal a lot of runs from Kamara? Can
No
he still goal line carries?
Now,
from
that
him?
will happen.
Yeah,
we have
so,
no
like,
clue what that offense is going to look like.
The Saints have never really ran an RPO.
And
I
Chubb
think
was
you might see some of that.
Chubb was a touchdown away from, a stepping out of bounds from being right at 30 points anyways.
Mhm.
So, like, you're looking at last week's breakdown, and I think the weather will be bad. I think Chubb's a downhill runner. I could see, like Ryan said, him outscoring. Now, I also sit there and say that offense in New Orleans don't go without Kamara going off. So,
No.
like, if they're going to win that game against an Atlanta team that can score, Kamara will be involved in the passing game, and
Yeah.
Kamara will be involved in the running game quite heavily.
You would have to assume New Orleans is going to try and keep Atlanta's offense off the field. for as long as
Since
possible.
Raheem Morris took over for Dan Quinn in Atlanta, that defense has looked better.
Yes.
It hasn't looked good,
That
but it's
was-
looked
that's
better.
okay.
It's Because it was
It's not
basically-
gonna. It can't look much better.
It
than
was
where is.
Seattle, Dallas, and Atlanta. Like if your team's playing them, start everybody you got. Atlanta's not as bad as they were. They're still not good, but it's not that sieve that it was at the beginning of the year.
True. The other matchup, position-wise, I was going to ask you guys about is Deshaun Watson and Justin Herbert. Because, again, I think both quarterbacks have some potential to light the scoreboard up. Herbert and the Chargers are playing the Jets in a dome. Both quarterbacks are playing in a dome. And Deshaun Watson's playing New England. Would you give the edge to either quarterback, or is this pretty much a wash?
I'm gonna go Herbert.
You go Herbert in
I'm
this?
gonna go Herbert.
I can't trust it with the haircut. And
I'd go Watson.
In this?
With no David Johnson, I think he's going to have to throw the ball more. And Herbert, if they're going to win the games, they need to run more than they've been running, or run more effectively.
who are they going to run with this week?
No clue. It's not Josh Kelly. I'll say that.
Or
It's
Pope.
probably going to be Kalen Balash.
What a wild.
The Adam Gase special.
What a wild year.
This has been
Seriously.
crazy.
This
Yes.
has been a weird year.
Yeah, I think what Ryan said. I think Houston, if they're going to move the ball, is going to have to be done through there. Even Duke Johnson's more effective
Pass
in
catcher.
offense is catching it, setting up screens.
Yep.
So I think Watson.
That's why I put Cooks in over Fulton.
I still think they're trying to build something there after letting O'Brien go, like to build some kind of confidence moving forward. Like to make it feel like Deshaun, I mean, some people maybe in the area are even like, is he the guy? Like how much of that was like Hop helping him, having that elite receiver who's clearly shown how great he is.
Yep.
Is like, they need to get him established. I could look for a big game out of him this week.
All right, so Brian,
Mm-hmm.
Battle of the Andrews. Which Andrew are you taking?
I'm gonna go Spirit this week.
All right. Got Brian down for score. Ryan, Battle of the Andrews.
Man, I can't pick based off Chargers because they each got one.
God.
That's what I've picked. These two matchups, I've picked them. I think last 3 or 4 weeks just because both have Chargers. Let me go with Scorp on this one.
All right. Jake, Battle of the Andrews.
Sorry, Kingdom.
Depending on what he does in that other running back position, could make it interesting. But I'm gonna go Squirt as of now because I just don't like any options out there to pick up to even fill in that spot.
What's crazy is I like 4 running backs on Scorp's team, and I like 1 on Andrew's team right now.
Okay, I know you like the choice.
That's cute. What you going with, JT?
I'm going to go contrarian. I'm going to go Baba Booey, Baba
You're
Booey.
trying to make up some ground.
It brings up that bird every why? I don't know.
I
we
think-
talked about cages earlier,
Yeah.
but it had an elephant in it, so it's a bigger cage.
Well, the reason I picked Ransdiddy is he's got Watson, Keenan Allen, Thielen, and Jefferson all playing in a dome. He's got some bad weather with Nick Chubb, which I think Nick Chubb actually takes advantage of that. Mark Andrews, again, is projected to rain in that game against Baltimore, Tennessee. So I think Mark Andrews may have some additional value there. I still think he should start Brandon Cooks over Fulgham because, again, like that game could be in the rain. Brandon Cooks in a dome with Deshaun Watson. If he makes that change, I feel a little bit better about that. And also, depending on that Joe Mixon pick, but I'm going to go with Ransdiddy. So we got 3 versus 1 on this matchup. All right.
It's also desperate time for Squirt.
It is. He needs.
You know what that calls for?
desperate measures.
There you go.
All right, next, let's go to.
Okay. Where are we going?
Let's go to turd sandwiches versus bye week.
Okay.
A little third time.
This
Come on,
is a good
Jake. Come on, buddy.
Trying to make it. I'm already.
Hey, that
going
Carlos
way better
Hyde's
than
a
I
good
was.
run, though.
Yeah. Thank
Sure.
you.
You're a jerk.
All right, so this the original projection of this matchup was 119 to 116. The live projection is 119 to 116.
So basically, Russell Wilson didn't meet his projection. Carlos Hyde exceeded
Yeah,
his.
so
And it basically balanced out.
It evened itself out. All right, so Jake
Thanks,
is
PK.
5-5 in 7th. Reitmeyer is 6-4 in 3rd. All right, and he is starting Taysom Hill at QB.
Oh my goodness.
With a high projection.
Yeah, 18.
I get.
Oh,
well,
okay. I was
I
trying
think
to figure out
there's
who he benched.
all
It was Josh
running consideration. Now, I do have a question for everyone at the table. What is the chances that Hill finishes the game there?
No.
I don't think very high.
Look, I don't think. I think he's going to be in and out. I think they're going to.
Do you think this is a Sean Payton ploy to like throw Atlanta off and have them game plan for this, and
Yeah.
he uses them 2 series and
Do
says,
you
"Jameis, go
remember?
get them."
You remember when Texas had swoops?
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Tyrone.
No.
Tyrone Bigsby?
No, Swift.
No, he was like a 6'6",
Calm down,
like
kids.
270-pound quarterback that they bring in at the goal line.
I like that. They called him 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Because he wore number 18, he was like 6'6", 260. And he would
Okay.
just run in touchdown.
Yeah.
But that's what they would do. God, who was the quarterback?
I don't
Colt
remember.
McCool.
No, this was after. It was like, it might have been Garrett Gilbert, to be honest with you.
Could have been. Either way, Swoops would only come in on like third down plays. Every once in a while you'd see him. But if you saw him, he was guaranteed goal line. If you saw him in there, run the football.
Yeah.
Or they were doing some little trick. He might throw it, but he, like, Swoops was not accurate at all. So he would just, maybe they would do an RPO, he'd throw it 5 yards.
So Tim Tebow his freshman year at Florida.
Pretty much,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that I think you're going to see a lot of that this week.
The thing with Taysom Hill, we can look at last year when Breeze got hurt.
Yeah.
When Bridgewater came in, Taysom Hill was no longer the third-string quarterback. He was the backup quarterback, and they rarely used him in those running back situations, the quarterback runs, lighting him up a tight end, because he was the backup quarterback. Anything happened to Teddy, Taysom had to come in.
But now Taysom's QB1.
But now if Taysom is QB1,
I don't believe that. I
He's
don't.
QB1.
I
if
don't
he
believe
is
that.
QB1, either way, he's either 1 or 2. You don't run gadget plays with a 1 or a 2 in the NFL because then if he gets hurt, you got one healthy quarterback.
So cutting
So
through
I
the
don't know
shit
if-
and swatting the flies. Is Taysom Hill starting for him just too risky this week?
I think so because last week when Drew Brees got hurt, who came in?
Do you think he shot himself in the foot?
James Winston.
Is
think
he
it's a-
riding that high so much that he's been killing
Look,
everybody that he can't do no wrong? Is that what he's doing?
Look, I ain't questioning Reitmeyer. 'Cause-
You can't.
Yeah, you're right. I can't question Reitmeyer's judgment here. Me, myself, I would have went with somebody a little bit more safe.
He's got Derek Carr on his bench against Kansas City where he had his best game of the year.
See, with his team, he's got so many players that can put up 20, 30, 40. And then he's got Dalvin that can put up 50. But
yeah.
if that's the case, I want a safe floor
Yeah.
like if I'm replacing Josh Allen for his bye week. He could meet that 18 projection. He could also put up 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And even if everybody else has a good week, that could spiral and just completely torpedo.
Does he have enough around him on this team to afford to take this risk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what
He's got Dalvin.
And he's got Tyreek. Because Tyreek, over the past, 6 weeks,
Oh, he's got Dalvin going to Dallas.
really good.
He can start whoever. he wants to
28,
quarterback.
23, 14. Those are, 28-6, 23-8, 14 are the last 3 weeks before their bye week for Hill. by the
For
way.
Hill. Okay.
So he has been going off. I think the only thing that could hurt Dalvin in this matchup is a big lead, and that they could give.
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, kind of like what happened to what's his name last week for Vegas, Jacobs, where they got a big lead and they're like, all right, let's just bring in
Devontae Booker.
Yep, and let him kind of get a couple. And I will kind of say this, and y'all might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think
Probably
Dallas has looked better defensively over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, because Leighton Vander Esch came back.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a stud linebacker in there, it helps
God,
out your
you
run
remember
game.
how pissed they were when they drafted him?
Yeah.
He's been good.
It's
very
basically
good.
like Knicks fans were getting mad when they drafted Porzingis.
Yeah, and he was their best player on the team by a long shot.
He's the only good first round
Let's
pick they
trade
drafted like the last 10 years, and they got rid of him.
I don't like Mike Evans this week.
With Ramsey on him.
Yeah, he ain't been separating much anyways.
No.
And he's been just using his size, and that's what Ramsey actually takes away.
Ramsey takes everything.
We don't know what's going to happen in Carolina. Like Moore was his week last week. Is it going to be who's going to be the starting quarterback in Carolina
True.
this weekend?
True.
And the impact that could have on Moore. Peterson, carry on. We don't know.
I do like the Peterson start.
Well, I mean, he don't have a choice.
Yeah.
As soon as Swift went out, he picked it up quick. So, and then, both of our tight ends are kind of touchdown dependent. I'm trying to talk myself into what, Jake, you can actually win this week. In my breakdown here, I understand what I'm doing. I'm sounding very biased, and it's because I need a win desperately.
Yeah, and you got 2 Chargers in there. Of course you know what you're doing. Look at you.
I had 3. I had to take one of them out because I was like, that's just too much.
Took out the wrong one. Wrong kid died.
Wrong kid died.
The reason I took out Mike is because I don't know how many running backs the Chargers even have, and if they get a lead,
4.
that they could use it. And Mike's just too up and down, man.
All right.
Oh, I understand.
All right.
And what goes up must come down.
If somebody would have told y'all in week 11 of this year's NFL season, or fantasy football season, that Kalen Ballage and Ezekiel Elliott would be in similar projections, what would you have said?
I was listening to a podcast today, and the guy said
Caleb
he would
Balaj,
start.
Ezekiel-
Hey, look, that's what I was saying. Who?
Yeah.
Well, now hold on a second. Caleb Balaj he was with Adam Gase in Miami. Gase goes to the Jets. He's like, you know who I need? I need Caleb Balaj.
Yeah, they tried to trade for him.
Yeah.
Couldn't get him.
No, he started the season with the Jets this year, and they cut him.
For some reason I thought that trade didn't go through because of
COVID. Balaj played for the Jets earlier this year, and they put him on the practice squad. And
Can we call
the
him
Chargers
baloney?
signed him.
I mean
It's kind of like you're trying to say Bologna.
if you want to call him
Yeah, sure.
Why are you making that face?
because I'm not calling him that.
Why can't that be me?
I said you can call him that. I said
Call him
that.
Balaj Trois if you want to.
Oh, that's a little too risque.
3 risque.
Anything else that sticks out to you in this matchup? Jake, you're projected
What
to
is
win this
life?
matchup. I know we've talked about Reitmeyer's team being hot, and
If I had to face him, I'm glad that he had several of his key guys on bye.
Yeah, Josh.
If he had a full roster, this would not be a close matchup. But a couple guys on bye leave me an opportunity, a chance to sneak one out.
Giggity.
And I don't really have anyone of value on bye. I don't think. I don't know if I have anyone. On
That
bye.
Cleveland defense is underrated.
Yeah, you do. You got George Kittle on by. He's probably not going to play though.
Hey, he said he could be back in 2 weeks.
It's week 16.
Yep.
That's what they're projecting.
So, all right, question. You said you had you said you had three Chargers in.
I had 3.
He had
but I
Mike
took one out.
Williams.
I
Yeah.
took
Who did you take Mike Williams out for?
CD.
CD. Okay.
CD had actually looked pretty well. Andy Dalton coming back, and I think Minnesota hasn't looked great sometimes against the pass. They'll get down. Maybe it'll be more opportunity. For them.
Get down.
Don't-
The reason I don't like Mike Williams
Get
because I
down.
think that the Chargers could get up big early, and he's a big play kind of guy. So I don't know if he'd have many opportunities if he didn't get it early. I don't really like the Hunter Henry stuff. I'm just kind of reaching at tight end now.
All right. So with the battle of Tigers Den Road, who are you taking right here?
Ooh, look at that.
You like that?
Yeah.
So do we have to pick middle or high? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, that's pretty much.
I'm going varsity here.
All right, going with Joe. All right. Ryan.
Yeah.
Confident.
Sully.
Yeah.
Ryan.
I'm gonna put them hot oven mitts on. I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I'm gonna go by week.
All right, going right, Meyer.
I don't like it though.
I'll go next since Jake, you're in this matchup.
Go varsity.
I'm gonna take Reitmeyer as well. Reitmeyer's hot, dude. I'm riding the hot
Look at
hand. Did
I'm
last
picking
week.
myself.
Trust
So
yourself.
hot right now.
Yeah, I think AJ Brown's gonna have a bounce back week. Juju's been playing well. I'm gonna take it.
All right.
You got old disc man down there. He's gonna have a good week. too.
Dallas is coming off their bye. They got the red rifle back.
Maybe.
That's a good
You don't
thing.
trust a ginger. Speaking of which,
I don't. And they shouldn't
I'm gonna
either.
have one
So
on tonight.
they
we're
shouldn't
getting
either. So
close.
you give the ball to
We're
Old
halfway
Zeke.
through
We're gonna
matchup
give us a
preview.
ginger tonight.
All right. Next matchup we'll go to is Battle of the Joshes.
I had one rule for this podcast. Oh, look at there. We got another net. All right.
Well, look. I mean, here in a
I
minute,
know,
we're
I
gonna
know.
go.
Oh no, we got Miss Green second grade class coming up.
This is a weird week right here. This is a weird week.
Hey, we had a tame week and we got a name week. Look at there, baby. Marketing. I'm out of here. Y'all have fun. See you later. I'm just kidding. I'm staying.
What's he doing?
I don't know. This shit's so ridiculous.
He ruins some stuff sometimes.
All right, so Cult of Personality versus Autobahn Time. This is a 1st and 9th matchup. Original projection, 125 to 122. Live projection, 125 to 121. Broach had 2 players go last night, Tyler Lockett and Christian Kirk. Tyler Lockett exceeded his projection, and Christian Kirk did not meet his projection, but it evened out.
Woo.
All right, so I'm going to let y'all take the lead on this one.
All right.
I'm just real quick.
Yep.
Looking future wise.
Okay.
Some big matchups this week between you and Michael are going against the top 2 guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Need a win. Need a win.
son,
Oh, I know.
you can't
Well, the
afford
thing
a
is-
loss this week, man.
If you win, it helps yourself out. It also helps a lot of other people out.
Yeah.
So do what you can.
It's like, I tried to put the best lineup up there.
Just try to win every week. Pretty much what I'm doing, boys. You know, try to put the best guys out there. Stuck with the best team.
Lockett coming out the gates with a 17, not ideal.
What's for Lockett?
Ain't for JT.
No.
Yeah.
But here's my big thing is you got Rodgers. I zipped. You got Rodgers right out of the playoffs. I mean, Rodgers should. This is where he usually starts coming into form.
Going against a good Indy team.
It is a good Indy team.
I think maybe top 3 defense.
They are.
I don't think
This
they-
thing's
Put
played at
Baltimore,
Lambeau.
Pittsburgh, and
I think
Indy.
Rodgers does a lot more. Being in Indy, I mean, Indy's really they're that surprise team. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
So Rodgers, honestly, I don't see him making that 19. Pat Mahomes going against Vegas is great for you.
That's their only loss this year.
It is true.
Only loss. They're coming off a bye week. Andy Reid does not lose after his team's coming off a bye week,
And it's prime time.
and it's prime time. So
I mean, but he did start Christian Kirk, who
that was the right start based off the matchup.
it
and how he's
was,
been playing.
but I mean, that's panned out in your favor. It's going to be a very, very tight matchup. How are you feeling? What's your concerns for this week?
Jarvis Landry.
Mine's Derrick Henry versus Baltimore.
See, the reason I feel good about that is due to last year's playoff game. And I'm hoping that they follow the same script. Just
Right.
get to Derrick Henry as many times as he can take.
Yeah, I mean it's starting to get colder.
I think
That's
that
what
might
they
be
do.
something Baltimore looks back on.
That could be, for sure.
When they've scored a lot this year, Tennessee, they've had a balanced approach.
Right.
But when they've made Tannehill try to win games like he had to do down in Miami, they haven't been very good.
If they run the pass, they'll win.
Yeah. I think that's how I would play them, is I would kind of load a box and challenge Tannehill to beat me. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing I think I said about the Bears kind of loaded up against Cooks last week. Like, that's what I would do against Henry, is try to load the box and not let him beat me like he did in the playoff game.
What's y'all's thoughts on Jacoby Myers this week?
I
Is he
think
still
he's the
running
high hand. I think he's getting a ton of targets from Cam. He would not come out of my start.
I think N'Keal Harry came back to practice. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but the guy's not good. So I
Yeah,
think
he
Jacoby
drops
Myers should
everything.
keep throwing to him.
Yeah,
Jacoby Myers is the only there. So he's had
Cam's
3
played
straight games of over
He's starting to
40%
back
target share.
Yeah.
There's only been one other receiver to have even 3 games, much less 3 straight, and that is Devontae Adams.
Devontae.
Now, you picked up Akers last night.
Am I starting him? No.
Is this more of a long term?
That's just
Yeah.
a possibility.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah,
other
yeah.
two get.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask you, I know why you're doing it now. If Joe Mixon would have played this week, and Drew Brees is not playing, would you have thought about putting Latavius Murray in your flex over Gio? If Mixon was playing, he's not, so you put Gio in there and don't even think about it.
I would have thought about it. Yeah, I would have thought about it.
Okay.
Or honestly, I might have gone Piran instead, just because they say that he's going to get a shot to prove himself.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't trust somebody, you don't trust Adam Gase.
I know. Yeah, Joe Mixon being out definitely helps my team.
Does Jacobs go off this week? Because it's going to be a shootout. I don't know if they can run the ball.
I think he's hoping to meet his projection. I don't see him clearing
They've got
it by a lot.
They've got a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball that
Oakland, I think,
could
had
be out because of COVID.
It's like 11
And
people they're not practicing. or
Right,
something.
and if that's the case, then I don't think this turns into it turns into Vegas chasing points, and Jacobs ain't going to be on the field.
Well,
in
the
that.
good thing for you is that apparently Andy Dalton doesn't believe with a lead you run the ball. He says, I'm going to do the same offense with 2 minutes to go up 40 as I would in a close game. He does not believe, like they were playing the Jets, and it's like a runaway, and it's like Mahomes still throwing bombs to the heel with like 5 minutes to go. I'm like, what are we doing right now? So that's a good news for you.
I brought this up before, and I was right on it.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask y'all this time because I'm unsure. Do you start Rodgers against Indy, or do you start Cam against Houston?
Rodgers against Indy.
Okay.
I still
would,
trust
Cam.
I would
That's
rather
what
have
I
Cam
don't-
go for 40 on my bench than me bench
in my
Rodgers.
starting
I
lineup.
trust no.
But if you had Sam
for me to
Darnold,
bench Ron.
As much as I said,
I wouldn't
Myers
have
has
had
done
if you
well,
had Sam Darnold,
That's
you'd have
a
started him.
Yeah, I'd start Sam Darnold or Aaron Rodgers any day of the
Yeah.
week.
I think JT even with Myers would like agree with this, but like if that's your number one, you're not going for 40.
No, you're not.
Like and Myers will get his prediction just because of catches. I think that'll be where he gets a lot of his because he's getting a lot of targets lately. And if he gets 80 yards, that's great. He gets 8 catches for 8
Yeah,
yards.
he reaches that projection.
Did Cam throw a
that's good.
touchdown pass last week?
He might have ran one.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he hadn't thrown one since week 3. So if he didn't throw one last week, he's still
Cam's
there.
also under pressure.
Yeah, he threw one.
I
He threw one
watched
in week 10.
I watched a lot of the
Who
game.
did he throw it to? Rex Burkhead.
Burkhead,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Burkhead.
Myers
Sounds
threw
Burkhead.
one.
I'm thinking Burkhead.
He's so hot right now.
Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead has looked good.
Birkenstock.
So what this comes down to, in my opinion, is the same thing comes down to every time you play Broach.
I'm trying to take over the world.
Does Rodgers and Adams go?
It's
for a
Rodgers
combined
and
50?
Adams.
Yeah.
If Rodgers and Adams go, if Rodgers is throwing
In
the
a
hell
dome.
out of the football, you're screwed.
It's
In a
Rodgers
dome.
and Adams versus Mahomes and Kelsey.
What you got?
In a dome. That's I think.
Yeah. I mean, there's no weather effect, no wind, no nothing to worry about.
And I think this could be an epic game. I don't know if the defense of Indy wins out. I don't know if Indy's offense gets going or if they kind of stutter. They've looked better in the last couple of weeks.
I guarantee you, Naheem Hines gets football this week.
I don't know.
I don't know if anybody can make that guarantee.
I put him on my bench.
I think you should start him.
Over who?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Zeke, probably.
I would start him over Zeke.
Kalen Balazs.
Y'all remember this? We do this next Friday. I'd start Naheem Hines this week.
I haven't made my decision.
Andy's going to be doing the same thing I said that New Orleans
Andy's
is going to
gonna
do
do
to
the same
Atlanta. Andy will do the same thing, not Andy.
Oh.
Andy's going to try and keep
Say Andy, that's all.
Indy is going to try and keep
Try
Green
to
Bay
keep
off the
them to it.
field. They're going to do a lot of. They're going to do the football running thing. You know, they're going to run the football.
The running game.
Yes,
Hmm.
there's going to be more of that this week.
Oh, control the clock.
Mm-hmm. Stall the game even.
Stop it, Jimmy. All right, so who are y'all taking in this matchup? Jake, start with you. I'll come to you last. I'll come to
Always
you
go
third.
first.
I'll come to you third. I'm
Okay.
switching it up. Jake, who you going with? Pass it to me, Jake. Pass me the ball. Pick Josh.
Got him. I'm picking the MySpace man, JT.
Okay, thank you, Ryan,
You went
for
my
picking
pick.
me. For picking me.
I'm gonna go Broach.
That's it. All right. Jake's taking Broach. Brian.
I'm going to go Tiz on me.
That's a good one. That's
Okay.
JT for no people who weren't listening.
I'm gonna go myself as well because I need a win. I'm gonna try to will it to victory.
Speaking into existence.
I'm gonna try to will it to victory, dude. I need a win. Golly, dude. If I lose this week, I think I'm.
Wait, did all of us go JT?
No,
No,
he went Broach.
He went Broach.
Which Broach? I mean,
I think it's just gonna be a big game in Indy.
I think it could be.
That's what separated it. From
All right. So, excuse me. Before we get to matchup of the week, we've got the battle of.
it's all on me.
The Scotsmans.
The
I would say the two names that people get mixed up more than anybody.
All the time.
Yeah, Ryan
Yes.
Robertson, Brian Roberts.
mm-hmm.
It's not the same name.
Miss Green used to do it second grade.
all the time.
All right, so Ryan
Played mind games.
of the Fantasy Phenoms sitting at 6-4 in fourth place with a projection of 118. Victim of the system, Brian Roberts. Original projection of 121, line projection of 105. That Arizona Seattle game hurt a little bit with Kyler and DeAndre not doing what
Kyler's
they've been
apparently
doing.
hurt. He's hurt.
He's hurt.
Well, he's got 10 days for his next game.
I
think,
know
so
it
he's got a
helps. It
chance.
helps.
You've got some new additions to the lineup,
I do.
Brian, with Ahmed
Uh-huh.
and Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been in the
Hey.
lineup previously, so
Be careful with that Logan Thomas.
yeah,
Even though you only got one Washington player, that you're under the
I know.
threshold.
that could be pretty interesting.
You start two, you're in trouble.
I'm here with one. I'm going to stay with this one. Alex Smith likes him.
You got look. I'm happy for you because you got Jameson Crowder in your lineup without a tag beside of his name.
Yep. That's a first. That's a daggone
Seriously.
first.
Seriously. I still like your receivers of Godwin, Ridley, and Crowder still to go, even though D-Hop didn't put up D-Hop type numbers.
He's not done D-Hop stuff lately. Up and down.
Hold on.
Last week, he
I mean,
did
last
some-
week,
he did
yeah,
some
but I'm
pretty
talking about
decent
lately
stuff.
he's up and down.
Yeah, I
The
think
past
Let's
couple
take a
weeks.
look.
I think
Yeah, I guess before his 22-point game, he had a 4-point game,
A
and then a
zero.
19-point game. Dude, yeah, okay, I'll give you this, Brian. Yeah, since week
The bye
4,
week doesn't count.
since,
exactly. You gotta
since
get
week
points on
4, he's been single digits and
Yeah.
then over 19.
But
Each
week
week.
12, y'all better watch out.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good game, so be
it.
prepared.
I don't believe it. Oh, that's a scar reference. Lion King.
You don't play week 12?
No, you said be prepared.
Oh.
Apparently, y'all don't like Lion King like I like Lion King.
Not like you.
I'm
like
an
it.
Aladdin guy.
It's not my favorite. Yeah,
Whatever.
That's my favorite Disney.
I know. I'm aware.
Okay. You've got Calvin
Pink
Ridley.
pajamas.
You've got Calvin Ridley.
Here I am.
You've got Matt Ryan.
I do.
How do you see that playing out?
I
One's
think
played
Matt
quarterback.
Ryan's gonna.
Quarterback.
He's gonna be the one that throws it,
Okay.
and Ridley's gonna run really fast. Turn around,
So that Matt Ryan to Calvin Ridley connection is going to be key for
It
y'all's
will be key.
matchup. If
If it's a quarterback to the wide receiver and one's got one, one's got the other, the more points are going to go to the wide receiver.
who is Julio will get matched up with?
Marshawn Lattimore might not play.
Oh, he might not play. Oh, that
From what I
definitely
read.
helps you, Ryan. That definitely helps you because if Julio has a big game, not saying that
You
Calvin
do.
Ridley can't, but that tempers.
Yeah, it
Calvin
does.
Ridley's
It
I
does.
projection.
can't sit here anymore.
Did you?
Looking on.
Did you? I will live and die by Chris Godwin this week.
Live
Think
and
so?
die.
Yeah.
Live and die.
Yep.
Heard it here first, guys.
Tom Brady looked really good last week.
Brian, how do you
Yes,
feel
indeed.
about him over Rabo this week against Detroit? You don't like playing any of the Carolina receivers without Bridgewater?
No, I don't.
He does not.
I trust Curtis Samuel the most this week.
Okay.
Why? Because he's closer to the line of scrimmage?
Well, number one, I don't know who's starting at quarterback for Carolina. You would assume be Will Greer. It should be Will Greer.
Who was what's his name? PJ Walker.
P.J. Walker,
That's who
yeah.
came in last week.
The
Yeah.
XFL
Yeah.
superstar.
Right. I don't know. My lineup could change.
Okay.
Robbie Anderson is I'm iffy.
Now,
I
But
haven't been
who
able
would
to
be
convince myself
taken
yet.
out? Would it be Jamison Crowder?
It would be Crowder.
Okay.
Now, if they do start Walker, there's a chance they just run straight exotic college style stuff. And
That's why
Samuel's in the backfield
Yeah.
more. maybe
Exotic
one-
XFL stuff.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Which how exotic can you give for the
I
XFL?
don't know. See, the thing is, I don't understand Joe Brady all the way through yet.
Nobody does. That's why he's a good offensive coordinator.
Right. So, I don't know. I mean, there's so many what ifs. That's why I'm hanging my hat with Chris Godwin.
Tell me what.
Okay. All right. On the fantasy phenom side of it, Damon Harris finds his way into the lineup.
Yeah.
Questionable tag.
Yeah.
Is he playing?
I don't know.
Damon
it's-
Harris has looked good though.
The thing has been with Damian Harris the last 3 or 4 weeks. Belichick's back to his same thing where he puts everybody as questionable,
Uh-huh.
and they give no updates on Damian Harris's status, and then it'll just take the questionable tag off about halfway through Saturday or Sunday, and then he plays.
Okay.
Halfway through Sunday?
Here's my question. If both, all right, so
They
if,
played on
if,
Sunday
if
night.
Harris is going to start, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to, obviously he's going to start.
Is he? Is he going to start in my lineup, or is he going to start for the Chiefs?
Well,
I
okay,
don't
that's
know
what I was
either
going to
one.
ask.
Okay.
Is could one of them make their way to the bench even if both of them are active?
The reason why I have Edwards-Helaire in the flex instead of the running back spot is because he plays at 820.
Uh-huh.
And based off of how the matchup's going, Edwards-Helaire might come out and Robert Woods might go in.
Okay.
Just depending on what
What
the
you need
matchup-
to happen.
Yeah.
If you're okay.
If I think I need like 7 or 8, it's probably going to be Woods because I think he's more guaranteed to get that. But if I have to have 20, I'm like, maybe they just give Edwards-Helaire all the carries and they're blowing out the Raiders.
Yeah, maybe.
Very
I
smart.
can see where you're coming
Very
from.
smart.
But if Harris doesn't play, then I got to put Edwards-Helaire in that running back spot, and all that's mute. So because Harris plays at 1.
All right. Aaron Jones is projected at 16. Indy's run defense, I think, has been top. Like
I don't see him make that projection.
He's got to score.
he's got to score. I think he's got to catch some balls.
The
out of
thing
his
is,
backfield.
that's where he scores a lot of his touchdowns through the air.
Yeah, he does.
So-
He does. I think that's where he's got to be. Probably.
And Adams was limited in practice or didn't practice a couple days this week.
Yeah,
so
he
maybe,
practiced yesterday.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't get as many targets as he's been getting.
Oh,
That's
so from
wishful
15
thinking.
to
I've been wishing that the
13.
last 3 weeks.
yeah.
Because I've either played him or I've played Jones.
He's going to get a crap ton of targets.
Brian, going back to your matchup real quick, you're starting Detroit against Carolina. Is that because of the just up in the air with quarterback?
It doesn't look like he's going to play.
Yeah, it's not looking that way.
No.
What's the prognosis on Teddy?
It was just a knee bruise or knee
Yeah.
small sprain. Like, it wasn't anything major.
Is it the same knee?
No,
that
it's
he-
not.
Okay, all right.
Could he play? Yeah. But
Could he
I'm-
play?
Well, so could
Circle,
Patrick.
dot,
Right,
dot.
that's the
Kind of
thing.
what's the point?
If they want to play, if they really push to play, they'll say,
Yeah.
fine,
I don't
go
know how
out
many
there.
of you've actually looked, but Carolina's getting each week closer to a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So
Trimmed it down.
Well, they're good, but they have a solid team.
they're a good
Right,
team,
right.
but they've lost close games.
Yeah,
I'll take that offense where it's at. But
Yeah.
if we could sneak in the top 5, get
Oh,
an
yeah.
offensive line,
Yeah, okay. Ryan, last question for you.
Okay,
Is there a chance that you pick up Jono?
There's definitely a chance.
Is there a chance you pick up Jono and start him over Dallas Goedert this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What I was trying to tell y'all on Call of Duty last night is that Carson was announced out or whatever, but it said NA.
Yeah.
And then I had to do
Nah,
something.
bruh.
Yeah, so I had to do something that wouldn't let me put him on my IR. And I had somebody in mind. I had planned on, as soon as Carson, if he gets announced out, put him on the IR, pick up Chicago's defense for next week. And Score picked up Chicago's defense today, so that didn't happen.
today.
Yeah, but I don't know who I would drop to pick up Jonnu. If I dropped somebody to pick up Jonnu, it would be Goddard.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can make that move just for the promise of how many targets Goddard could get.
True. All right, Jake, me and you'll start this one off. So, Ryan versus Brian. Which one you taking?
Brian.
Taking Brian? Okay. I am going to take – I'm going to go with Fantasy Phenoms. I'm going to go with Ryan. All right.
Brian, you go ahead and pick.
I'll go Ryan.
Go Ryan, and then
We'll make it a gentleman's
Ryan,
round.
you're going to go Ryan. Of course you are. Of course you are.
Let's go this way, sir.
Of course you are. All right. So this has been a pretty fun little
Either way, we win this week.
this has been a
And
pretty
that's what it's all about, hedging bets.
hedging bets. This has been a pretty fun little matchup preview because there's a lot of similarities between the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But records are coming in hot. Are we going to them?
oh,
Match of the
yeah.
week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get him on the horn.
We're going to matchup of the week.
Are you going a 3-way?
What I do after we're done with this? No.
Don't carry the computer.
Oh, I thought we were all going in there.
I mean, like, hey, carry the segment. Carry the segment.
All right, match for the week, Mr. Robertson. What is it?
Matchup of the week, we got Jordan's team, managed by Jordon, and he's going against the 08 Lions, managed by Michael Smith, who's been on a heater lately.
Well, let's talk about the clever play by old Jordano real quick before we get him on the
Got a
horn.
battle of wits going
Playing the
on
Michael Smith game.
Yeah, so Michael was very famous for his I don't show you my starting lineup. And I even said something to Michael on Sunday. I said, dude, you didn't start McKissick. And he says, I totally forgot to add someone in that spot. And I was like, yeah, that was a little bit of a drop ball there.
Yeah.
I said, if he ain't going to play him, let me have him. And he laughed and said, I'll play him next week.
All right, well, Jordan just called in.
Jordano, what do you got to say there, buddy?
Not much.
Well-
Take the question you got.
Welcome to the pod.
What kind of
It looks like
questions?
you got a pretty solid lineup set. You got empty 1 through 10 right now. How do you think they're going to play this week? How does empty going to look?
Well, I was just copying what Michael was doing.
Attaboy.
Do you know what you're going to do?
To be honest, I'm probably going to lose this week because I have no clue what Michael Thomas is going to do. I have no clue what no running backs are going to do.
Do you know what anyone on your team is going to do?
Do it.
Do you know what anyone on your team is going to do other than catch late touchdowns that don't matter like Rob Gronkowski?
Well, I'm sure Lamar Jackson probably give me about 17, which I probably need about 25 for him to actually do anything.
You going to start Burkhead this week?
Do what?
Are you going to start Burkhead this week at running back?
I'm thinking about it.
I like that
To
play,
be
Jordan.
completely honest with you, he's probably the last 2 weeks has probably been better than all of my running backs combined.
He's going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Well, him and Gibson, I really like both of those plays this week.
Let me ask you this. On a personal level,
You can talk to O'Brien.
you can talk to O'Brien. He'll listen. On a personal level, how important is it to get a win this week against Michael?
It's very important. I mean, if you look at the standings, hell, you can go from first to bottom real quick.
Yeah, that's fantasy. I'm talking about personal.
How good will it feel to beat Michael, the person?
The one that makes fun of your draft every year.
The one that makes fun of you every year.
Well, hell, I've been every year.
Oh! Got him! Shots fired!
On podcast, you heard it first.
Trigger might get shot.
So we know, we were talking earlier, we know Michael couldn't be on here tonight. If there was one thing you could say to Michael before Sunday, what would it be?
Oh,
Wait a minute. How are you going to come out with shooting the first shot and then try and wave the white flag?
Like you walked over to see if he was okay.
This is why Michael talks about you.
Well, I mean,
He's such a nice guy.
I know, he is so nice. Come on, say something mean.
no, I can't say nothing bad about him.
All right,
All right.
fine.
Man, I thought you were gonna bring like MySpace times back and throw some.
Jordan, are you still on MySpace?
I think I only went by like 2 points or 3 points last time. I was only playing against the judge.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Go back and look at the last matchup if you don't
Last
mind.
matchup?
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay, that was
Michael's
in
team.
week 2.
Week 2.
Michael's team's got to look completely different.
I'm pretty sure Jordan won because Michael didn't win until like week
Yeah,
7.
Michael didn't
so
win until
Yeah, but I don't think I only won by like 2 points or 2 or 3 points.
I've heard it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or by 100. Winning's winning.
You ever going to come and join us on the pod?
Well, I mean, I'll try, but I mean,
No.
two screaming kids in the background.
Well, you can bring the kids. Ryan and Jake scream the whole time.
I sing a lot of the time too.
How about we bring it to Cracker Barrel one day and we do one there?
So back in week 2. Jordan won 110 to 86.
You got
More than 2 points,
That's
buddy.
a pretty good margin there, bud.
You weren't ever very good at math.
Jordan's team changed a lot since then.
Let's take a look at Jordan's team. Michael's team's changed a lot.
Oh,
That was
absolutely.
that was
the
the right-
week where Higbee got 3 touchdowns.
Is it really?
Yes.
Let's take a look.
And I don't think he's scored one since.
Yeah, so in that week, Jordan's top scorers, both with 25 points. 25.9 went to Higbee and 25.3 went to Stephon Diggs.
Higbee has 3 touchdowns on the year. They all came in that game.
Y'all know who was leading the league in receiving prior to Thursday night's game?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Got it.
You see, Jordan, normally we would do a position by position breakdown, but there's only one person that's in a certain slot right now, and he's already played, so we can't really break it down. So we're trying to do a little bit of filler here. Do you even listen to the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
What do you mean you even listen to it? You know Jordan listens to it. So here, get a listen of Michael's running backs, or excuse me, not running backs, but a couple of Michael's players from week 2.
Okay.
So Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
This is the week that Saquon got hurt.
Yeah, week 2 was a dark week in football.
Cortland Sutton
Cortland Sutton
got hurt.
Will Fuller had 0 points that week.
Didn't he get hurt that week?
I believe he did.
It's Will Fuller.
Was he-
Chances are.
Was that when he played Baltimore?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he got hurt that
He had Baker Mayfield at QB.
when people were thinking, hey, probably need to bench Baker because he looks terrible.
Yeah. Michael did not have. He had one player reach his projection. That was James Conner. Back when James Conner was lightening up. When
After
he
you spent $31 on Benny Snell.
Yeah, we know.
Was that Jordan?
What's up, Jordan?
Did Connor get hurt like the week after that, dude?
He got hurt the week before that with that sprained ankle.
Yeah.
They didn't think he was even going to play, and then he ended up being Michael's best player.
Yeah.
And Benny Snell didn't do anything.
Let's look at your team.
Hey, it's not about y'all. It's not about y'all. All right, but you want to go ahead and do the predictions? Just do the projections. Predictions. Picks. Let's make the picks.
All right, let's make the picks.
All right. We'll let you do a guest pick.
Yeah.
Guest pick. All right, so Jordan, I put Jordan on the list. Jordan, who are you taking between yourself and Michael Smith, your arch nemesis?
I'm going to say Michaels because Kenny Gray got 14 points.
I mean, right now he's projected to beat you 14-0.
I mean, yeah, again, running backs, I don't know what they're going to do. Receivers, I don't really have. I got Tyler Boyd, Michael Thomas, which they
And Julio Jones.
Yeah, but Taysom Hill's starting, so I mean, you can't really go by projections.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you see Jordan come through with the usual somebody got hurt?
Oh, yeah, I did
text?
see that.
I love that text.
Thank
I
you,
love
Jordan.
that text.
Keeping us on our toes.
You didn't do anything during week 2, though. I was a little upset about that.
Well, I think it was on the golf course.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
All right, so taking a look at Jordan's team versus the 08 Lions, trying to pick a winner
Yeah.
without lineups being set, a little tough.
I've already known.
You already know who you're taking?
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
I'm going to go to Jordan. I think the streak ends this week.
The streak ends. All right, so got Brian down with Jordan. Ryan, who are you taking?
Let me get that Jordan.
Taking Jordan. All right, Jake.
I'm taking Michael because he's got good running backs. Connor versus Jacksonville, and then he'll start.
You already
If he
started
starts.
Drake.
And then McKissick. I think he'll have a big week.
Yeah.
All right. I need Michael to lose, so I'm going with you, Jordan.
There it is.
Come through. Need you this week.
Well, I do have if I do better this week, I have a better shot. So,
How you feeling going into the playoffs?
well, I mean, I really don't want. There's some people that don't really want to play and going into the playoffs either.
Who do you not want to play?
Better question. Who do you want to play?
Oh, who would you like to see? If you could have your pick in the first round, who would it be?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're all tough. We're all pretty much even.
Look, you're not doing an ESPN interview, brother. Who do you want to go against?
Because your job's not in jeopardy.
I tell you who I don't want to go against is Reitmeyer.
None of us want to go against
Nobody.
right now.
Nobody wants to go against Reitmeyer.
Well, I mean, it's looking like it. I mean, right now it's what, fourth.
Third.
He's in
I
third.
think he
Right?
moved up to third when he beat me last week.
So I mean, if he loses one more, I mean, he's right in the middle. So I mean, he's gonna be playing. It's gonna be playing like.
You got a chance to play him in the second round.
In the middle of the round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Jordan.
I did.
You gonna do breakfast next weekend?
Yeah. I mean, that.
All right, brother.
If y'all want to get together and Mike wants to get together or whoever, that would be all 10 of us get together.
Yeah, we might be doing that before the playoffs hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
all right,
right,
we thought about that.
Breakfast extravaganza.
Yeah. All right, brother. We'll call you.
See you, Jordan.
Appreciate you, bud.
What a good kid, huh?
Good one.
What a
the
good,
best.
what a good
One of
kid.
the
He can't
best.
say bad things if he wanted to.
He could.
He could.
He said one thing and he realized it felt bad after.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Immediately backtrack.
All right, so you want to take a look at the playoff picture?
Are we done?
We are.
Yeah, we picked.
All right.
Picked, right?
That's all
Somebody
five.
pull up matchups again.
All right, I got the league standings on our screen right now.
Ooh.
Piece
So
of candy.
It is big standing. We got a James
let's
Wood
go.
situation
Let's go
going.
with the split it in half. 6, which is Andrew, is playing who
This week or next week?
this week?
And then Battle of Andrews.
Andrew's playing score.
All right. And Jake is playing,
It's Battle of Tigers and Rudd.
Right, Meyer.
and
Battle of the
Michael-
Josh's Battle of the Brian
Michael
Lyons.
is playing Broach,
Michael is playing Jordan.
Jordan, and
What are we
you're
gonna call
playing-
that? What
you're playing-
are we gonna call that battle?
the rivalry.
yeah,
the
that
rivalry.
is.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're playing. I mean, it's top versus bottom this week, and it's still very, very close. You have to get a win. That'll tie you and Michael. If he loses,
If he loses,
that gives you 8th.
right?
Scorp's still not out of it.
All right.
If both you and Michael lose, Scorp wins.
It makes it a lot.
That
right?
last spot.
Me and Score play each other next.
I was about to say,
There-
if you look at the current standings right now, next week is tight. 1 and 2 go against each other.
Okay.
9 and 10 go against each other. 7 and 8 go against each other. And then you got 4, 6, and 3, 5.
Golly.
So
next
it's basically
week's
like
gonna be
who
wild.
you're jockeying
That's
for position
actually
side by side.
the playoff.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
it
the
is.
playoff.
It is. Next week's gonna figure out a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, those standings could be totally different going into next week, but as of right now, it's not going to be more than a game.
you're putting focus on the bottom. All right, put focus on Scorp this week because Scorp's, we've talked to him. He's just given up. He's done.
He's frustrated.
And it's understandably so. I mean, you put up,
He's fifth in points.
right, he shouldn't be 10th.
10th and wins.
So Scorp needs both you and Michael to lose this week. Michael, honestly, almost pretty safe unless you win.
We talked
If
about
I lose,
two,
yeah.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago. We're like, Michael doesn't control his own destiny. He needs help.
He got all
He
that.
controls it now.
The
controls
loss,
his
the
own
right
destiny.
people lost,
Yeah,
and he won when he had to. I think
we all think.
7th up, it's all pretty much safe now. Me, Andrew, and Jake would just have to lose out. But that's still going to not. One of y'all, yours and Scorp's matchup next week is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's
If
a very big matchup.
if say I win this week and then lose to Scorp next week, I think we take care of each other and both of us are out.
Right. Reitmeyer is there's no way he can take first now, right? There's pretty much no way.
There's no.
He wins
I just don't see
out. Yeah, if he wins this week and the next 2 weeks, then yeah, he could.
Now,
Because he's got the most points outside of you. You
Right,
have the most points. He has,
Within the top three.
Yeah,
he's got
out of
most
those
points.
top three.
now Broach and Jordan have already clinched a playoff spot.
Yes.
Next week he's got you, bro.
And I'm pretty sure
Reitmeyer.
mathematically,
So he loses next week.
Reitmeyer and myself can clinch this week.
And then the week after that, he's got Michael.
And they're both hot. I mean, very attractive.
They're so hot right now.
But yeah, I mean, that's
Broach, meanwhile, finishes with me in week 13. Week 12, Broach has Jordon, who
Which that's the one too right now.
But that projection for Broach is freaking ridiculous.
And Michael has 0. That's his projection
Well,
because he doesn't have his
also
line set.
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah, that's right.
And
Michael's
then-
got 9.85. That's his projection.
Did we write down we wrote down who we thought was gonna make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, we
our
did
final
2 weeks
four.
ago.
A couple weeks
All
ago.
right, look back at it. Tell me if you change your mind on
I
that.
changed mine.
I changed
I
mine
put
too.
myself-
Go down.
Change mine.
Who did Jake have
We
make the
did our
playoffs?
final four.
Jake for the final 4 picked Broach, Brian, Reitmeyer, and Baba Booey.
You still feeling good about that?
Broach, Reitmeyer.
Me and Andrew.
Ryan and
I
Andrew.
like 3 of them. The only one I might change is maybe Ransdale to Ryan if he gets healthy. But I mean, even Ransdale's team's got a lot of dudes on there.
Yeah, I like 3 of mine
Who'd Ryan
too.
have?
I really like 2 of mine. Ryan had Broach, Baba Booey, Reitmeyer, and Scorp.
I would like to change one of mine.
Go ahead.
I don't know about Andrew. I don't know which one. I'm gonna change Scorp to myself.
Scorp does pretty much have to win out.
He's
Uh,
got-
Scorp's got to win out. Got to have help.
Yeah.
So you're changing Scorp to
Myself.
Yourself. Wow.
Way to
Says
go.
the guy who when he was doing it. You know what? I'm gonna give myself. I'm gonna believe in
I
myself.
think I
All
got
right,
a good
who did
team.
I have,
think
JT?
I'm gonna do it. You had Broach, Brian, Baba Booey, and Ryan. Feel good with yours?
You want to put
Take
Reitmeyer
out.
in there somewhere?
Take out Andrew and put in Reitmeyer.
I did that in my own.
That's fine. That's
I'm an
fine.
idiot.
That's fine.
I want to do that too, but I'm still doing a different spot. Right. Meyer.
You know, it would be great.
What?
If we did that on the computer so people could see it. So they could see what our projections were. I'm just saying it would be nice if we could have a document they could see, like, hey, they hate me. Look at the screen. Hey, my wife, you want to see this? Look, he hates you.
This is pre-production, man.
I know, we
Not-
should-
look behind the curtain.
I know, we should.
All right, mine was Broach,
Next
Brian.
week we'll be able to see it.
True. Yeah, I'll have it ready next week. Broach, Brian, Baba
Get a
Booey, Baba
laptop.
Booey, and myself. I'm definitely changing mine, and I'm going Reitmeyer in my spot.
Okay.
I think if we all change it to right,
11.
it could be reverse thing, and he'll go downhill spiral.
No.
I still like it. I still like Baba Booey, Baba Booey. I
Yeah,
still
well,
like
It
it.
means
Andrew,
me and
that-
you are exactly the same.
Yeah. 'Cause I still like his team. I do. I like
The
his-
top's not really separating from the middle.
Yeah,
Let's-
I mean, no, the,
It's not. It's really
This
not.
is-
What is it,
this
2
is
or
all-
3 games?
If Broach and Jordan both lose this week,
2 games.
it's
So it's
ridiculous.
a 2-game stretch between 1st and 7th.
It's crazy.
And look how many
I think the clinching's about done. I think we're down to 1 spot.
Well, buddy, I don't know.
I don't know.
So-
These chicks been together.
I think the fight's for 8th now.
Yeah.
But as far as seeding goes, which is huge, it's like Jordan was saying, nobody wants to play Reitmeyer. Not a single person wants to play him.
Part of
So
me does just to go ahead and get it over
well, Dalvin's got a pretty tough schedule coming up.
with.
he does. He does.
I don't think anybody really wants to play Broach either, though.
No.
I haven't
Not
wanted
with
to play
the
Broach
double.
all
The
year.
only time I would want to play Roach is if something happened to Rodgers, and then I would really
Yeah.
want to play.
I hate playing Broach.
And then
And-
Josh Jacobs, you saw last week what he can do.
right,
but-
right.
If he gets healthy, Ransdale. We got to talk about he's got hit by the injury bug pretty
He's
hard.
got-
I'll
he-
Ransdale back up.
He might.
If Joe Mixon goes back, I'm still putting his team.
I've got
Strong
him
contention.
on there, yeah.
I've got him on there too, but his team has been definitely hit by the injury bug because Nick Chubb was out for 6 weeks.
He get him.
Joe Mixon's been out for I think a total of 4 weeks at this point. David Johnson's out. Miles Gaskin's out.
That's his
He's got
top 4 running backs.
right. I mean, all of them out. His receivers have really kind of pulled through for him.
Which
That's
some
why
of
he's
them
won a
been
lot
big
of weeks.
surprise.
Yeah,
And
Justin
Deshaun
Jefferson.
Watson has maintained a very good quarterback play.
Since Bill O'Brien's been fired, I think Deshaun's got
His
like
lowest, like,
24.
22
I think he's got like
Right.
24 basically. He's averaging.
We talked about Deshaun Watson win a little early in the draft, but honestly, from a consistency standpoint, Deshaun Watson's been about
I
as
think
consistent as
something
you
that's
can get.
really helped his productivity is the lack of running game that they haven't established.
Yeah.
this year.
Mm-hmm.
And because they can't run the ball, he's just putting the ball in the air. a
It's
lot.
almost like him and Kyler Murray have changed spots.
Odd.
It is.
Well, since
So Arizona trades Hopkins back to Houston next year.
Since Arian Foster left Houston, they really haven't had a running game. It was Lamar Miller.
Since Arian
That was
Foster
a
went
bad-
vegan, they haven't had
Well, they
a
had
game.
Brock Osweiler.
That was a bad.
I'm just saying they haven't really had an established running game in Houston since
And they also had
Arian
a lot
Foster.
of offensive linemen retired because that was something else that
Right.
we all kind of forget. to
And
talk
their
about. Even like
defense
Zeke, man,
just
like
started
3 years ago when Zeke was
disappearing.
going off, had the best offensive line,
Yeah.
and he loses some, and now he looks like
Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey doesn't get crap.
Yeah.
And then he just gets hurt.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson's been, like we said,
Wow.
I got him pulled up. Deshaun Watson's been very good. He had his worst week last week,
where
but
did he go last week?
played at Cleveland.
That was the
and
That was the
weather,
win
weather
game.
game.
Yeah.
Was
So
it 14?
yeah, he had 14. You kind of chalk that one up.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
that.
there's nothing you can do
Exactly.
about that. That wind was
Yeah.
blowing like 30 miles an hour.
And the only person who really throws that well in that kind of weather is Rodgers.
And Tom Brady.
He throws his short, and then they just run through it. Rodgers still throws the ball deep.
Rodgers plays the wind.
All right, so
Yeah, Rodgers like a golfer. He's like, I
who
throw it.
who has the number one seed? We all got to agree on it. Who goes in with the number one seed?
Right,
You going right, Meyer?
because I think he wins out, dude. I'm going to pick
You agree
Reitmeyer
with
until
Jordan?
his team drops off.
Let's see.
He's made a huge leap
Why
in points.
didn't we all go right, Meyer, 2 weeks ago?
Because let's see, 2 weeks ago, I don't know.
Because what's his win streak at?
He's at 4 wins. He's got the longest win streak, 4 wins.
Well, Dalvin Cook was coming off an injury, I think, a couple weeks ago when we did that originally, right?
He hadn't exploded
So
yet.
Dalvin went off right after we talked about it.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Because I think that was right after the bye.
You go with right, Meyer?
Because that was week 8, right? Or no?
Here's the only knock that I have on Reitmeyer finishing first is I this week with him having a couple guys on bye, I still think me and him will have a tight matchup. Next week he's got you,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that's an easy victory. And I think he loses one of those 2 weeks, and I don't know. Like JT just said, he needs to win out to win it because then Broach will definitely beat me in week 13. Week 12, Broach has Jordan's team, which
That's a good
So
matchup.
it's
one
a
of them
good
could
matchup.
knock each other off.
yeah.
So
I probably am going to take just by the projection already. I know Jordan's team's 0 right now, but Broach is projected at 131 that week, which is exceptionally high.
Yeah.
And our Jordan's team hasn't really got close to that yet. So I feel like we would call that probably for Broach. So Broach's big week would be this week against JT. So if he wins this week, he's locked in at first.
Who you feeling?
Nobody at the moment. All right, I'm feeling Brian right now. I would say.
going Brian. Wow.
No, he touched me.
Yeah.
Inappropriately?
Nope.
It was
It was a
consistent.
light petting. I would say Broach.
I have a hard time going against Birch as well.
I just like the matchups more
Yeah.
there for him.
So you said we had to be unanimous. So
We
is this
do.
going to be like 12 angry men?
I don't think we can go unanimous.
No.
That's not.
Well,
What's thoughts on second? So are we? You're obviously going to go
I
Birch then,
was
right?
going to brunch, yeah.
And I'm okay with going
Reitmeyer.
Reitmeyer.
Yeah.
I'm okay with going Reitmeyer second. Let's not go all the way down the list. who takes the 8th spot?
Michael.
Let's see. Ransdale.
Really? You think Michael jumps up?
He'd have to.
Yeah.
Let me look at Michael's schedule for us here. 'Cause I know we did it.
Michael plays me next week.
He's got Jordan this week, got Michael next, or excuse me, he's got Jordan this week, Jake next week, and then week 13,
He's got a bye week. Right, Mark.
you got right.
I don't think he does it. I think he come back and sneak in.
Well,
I think he come back and sneak in.
I gotta.
I was just kidding about
Andrew.
Andrew.
I think-
I think it's going to be JT.
I think
I just look at Andrew.
I think JT's going to sneak back in.
I think it's going to be me.
But
At 8.
at 8th, Michael staying in.
No.
Who goes in? Who jumps in? Who's out that jumps
even
in?
If JT wins 2 more games and I stay the same, he would jump me in points, and I think he knocks Michael out. So I think JT jumps me into 7th, and I fall to 8th, and Michael in scored. miss it. Scorp's got the.
I really would love for Scorp to win this week. Him and Michael lose, and the two of them go at it next week.
Well, that's the thing.
huge.
One of y'all two knock each other out next week.
Yeah, I agree.
that would be
That's
great.
That is what it comes down to. So I'm putting a lot of faith in you winning next week.
Well, now here's the thing, but if JT wins this week, he can afford a loss next week.
If-
he can't really, but
He's
technically,
If
Michael.
I tie Michael in standings, I'm gonna
you
pass
make the
him.
playoffs.
So
And
here's the thing, and JT knows that, is that if he loses another one, he's got to have Michael take 2 losses.
What's the rest of your season?
I have
So that means Michael will have to lose to either me,
I have
Jordan.
Broach this week. I have Scorp next week, and I have Ryan in week 13. So I got a tough schedule.
You got a tough schedule.
All right, question. Over under 10% the chances of Scorp, JT, and Michael all making the playoffs.
Under. It's impossible.
It's possible.
That
means
Brian. No, I don't see how that happens.
It'd have to be Jake.
You said all 3 of them make it.
Right. It had
That's
to
2
be
more
Jake. Oh,
spots.
sorry. It had to be Jake and
Yeah, as far as like just looking at
Ransdale.
just looking at points, it would have to be Jake. You drop to no, actually no, it can't
No, I
because
don't see-
points.
yeah.
I think Andrew's got. Well,
Yeah.
no, he doesn't have points on Scorp.
He don't. First off, Michael don't have points.
That's the
on
thing.
anybody.
All Scorp's got to do is win.
But if Scorp,
He's
if
got a
Michael,
tie.
if Michael wins out,
He doesn't have to have a better record. He's got to have an equal record. It's the same with you. You will score. Yeah.
man, Scorp.
I mean, there's a possibility. It's very slim. Michael has to win out because his points are not going to get him if he has a tied record with somebody.
Right. Michael has to get the record.
But he's only
Points aren't gonna
he's
happen.
only a
Me and
game
Andrew
behind
could
30
not
other
win
teams.
another game.
Right. Y'all would have to lose
If-
out.
I'm
if
just saying
we
it's-
win one more game, and I that means, well, I guess it could work because Michael and me go against each
I
other.
put it over under 10%. I was going to say everybody's going to pick under. I mean, it's probably closer to 3%, but
So-
at the most.
From what we said
But it's possible.
earlier, next week's matchups that's the
week
holy
13
grail of
week
matchups
13 is
for
going
the
to
rest of the
matter, I
season.
think, more for seeding than it will for.
Absolutely. Next week, you'll pretty much know your playoff after
Yeah,
we're done.
Scorp's got to pray
After
that
next
me or
week.
Ransdale don't win another game.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Or Michael.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
Yes.
Well,
it is.
Michael's his best shot.
well. I was about to say me and Michael play next week, so he's whichever.
He would be pulling for you over Michael, I feel like.
Scorp did start off 2-1 though.
He did. I mean, Scorp, look, he doesn't have a bad team. It's just luck of the draw every week.
He's got a better best ball team right now because it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, he does have a great best ball team. He has the most points scored against him.
I figured that.
Yeah, and then victim of the system is second in that category.
I could have figured that one too.
Yeah.
Considering he's leading in points and 5th in standing.
Yeah. That's weird. Hey, fantasy football's the way it goes. Never know. Never know.
I
what
think
to
it'll be
expect.
an interesting finish. Like how many? It
It
kind of feels.
most points against.
I think the fun thing is sometimes when you're at this stage and you start looking at like how do like actual teams get into the playoff picture when you start looking like NFC, AFC things and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, well this person gets in if this person loses
Oh,
this
yeah.
and a tie in this way and it's like all these weird like what if situations.
it's a weird.
And so like there's a bunch of changing that could happen, or we could also be looking next week and like is it over?
Right.
Because if myself and Ransdale win this week, and then like JT and Scorp both lose this week, that I know it would eliminate Scorp, correct?
If he loses,
Well, hold on.
this
If
week-
Michael, me, and Andrew win this week,
Scorp's done.
It eliminates Scorp, and it would make you have to win this week and then win out to try to tie Michael, right?
But we talked about this.
If all 3 of us,
I
won.
believe so.
We
Yeah.
talked about this earlier, maybe midway point of the season, that there's that guy that makes that run that you don't want to play in the playoffs. It actually split up into 2 people. Michael's made the run. Nobody wants to play right now in playoffs. I don't think anybody's afraid to play Michael in the playoffs.
I tell you, I like some of the things that Michael has on his team, though. Like I'm being
You
serious.
got to give it to Michael.
I
man.
like if
You
Alex
really do.
Smith.
I don't
is
have
gonna- If Alex Smith's going to finish the season, McKissick's like an easy start for me. James Conner still with the weather getting bad, and maybe they get back to just running the crap out of the football. He could be very productive down. Drake's had a couple of good games put together.
Mhm.
I think Will Fuller playing in Houston and them being behind in games, he'll have big moments. Judy's kind of come on. Cup, I don't know.
One of the
What's
best
going on
things
with
that's
Hall?
happened to Michael's team was Kyle Allen breaking his leg. Because Alex Smith drops it down to the running back more than anybody else, and J.D. McKissick's been getting all of them. He's been getting double-digit targets as a backup running back.
Like that, though.
I'm just saying that, like, he's had a bad injury luck, Michael has.
I still don't
But
think he's got a team that is going to
No.
make a run for a championship. I think we all agree. If I had to place money on who I would say championship teams right now, if I had to pick like two,
Reitmeyer.
Would you take
Right,
Michael
right,
or the
right.
field? I think I'm taking the field, but
Reitmeyer versus Field. You take the Field?
anybody versus the field, I'll take the field.
what about two people versus the field?
Reitmeyer and Birch versus
Well, the field gets smaller.
It does.
Boom.
That's why
Who's the other? I'm just saying.
we
Like,
said
as far
right
as-
my approach.
I'll still take the field.
Why would you take the Field?
Who would you feel
Just
like
gotta have
had
more
a
pieces of the
championship
pie.
team?
The unpredictability of fantasy football.
Yeah, I mean, just you never know. I mean, we've got teams that look great going into the
Oh,
playoffs.
no, look, Dalvin Cook gets injured.
Which he's done
Oh,
historically at this point in a lot of seasons.
Dalvin Cook plays Tampa Bay, Chicago, and New Orleans in the playoffs. It's 3 of the best run defenses in football right now. There's a chance that he doesn't do
So you're
as well.
saying
as
there's a chance?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's going to happen with Green Bay. Maybe they play a snow game and Rodgers and Adams have a bad game. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I mean,
a lot
I
of
bet you their
variables.
ACLs on the same play. Rodgers on the throw, Adams on the catch.
Wow, you went dark.
Or the Packers clinch and
Because it's cold.
Adams,
That's why
they had
Adams has got
chili
his
before the
hamstring.
game.
They decided to sit Adams.
No
'cause-
offense. That's why this week's game is so big for them.
Yeah.
Because it's the battle of the division right now. They're
So-
both tied at the top.
I think next week we skim through review and we do previews and playoffs. Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll talk about it.
The only reason that's hard right now is because how much is still grouped up. Like, the
It's very
seedings
much
can
grouped up.
dramatically change.
Yeah. And I agree with you. After next week, it's basically going to be seen after that.
All right, last question, Brian. What are you going to do with that last $1 you have?
Nothing.
You went all out on somebody. Who'd you
Save
go
it for
on?
a
Come
rainy day.
What made you want to do that, by the way?
He's got the best chance at being the main back, and I don't know what's going to happen with McCaffrey. It was more I needed somebody to replace Melvin
You
Gordon.
thought I have one last chance for a big fill,
Right.
and this is the last.
He's got the highest ceiling of running backs.
I think I
on free
put in like a
agency.
$2 bid on him. I felt good about
Now,
it.
when
I saw
does
you spent that
Gaskin?
much.
When's Gaskin supposed to come back, or is he?
He's on IR, so he missed past 2 weeks. He's going to miss next week as well for sure. I haven't seen an update since.
And then Breida's back. We got to see if he's just going to be a pass catcher, or they're going to be doing what they've done all year, is just run one guy and don't even have the other people running.
But see, I get Mostert back next week, so I don't have to. It's not like I'm relying on him, but I need a safety blanket there just in case.
I hope it doesn't happen for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
just for this week. After that, all the best.
Indeed.
Quite right.
well, hey, good luck, everybody. It's gonna be a tough week. This is an exciting slate of matchups. All right. And, I forgot I didn't really write much down.
We just did a turn the page, boys, on the book and on the podcast.
I
We'll
think
see you next week.
Here we go.